it's actually not the artificial intelligence that will be taking people's job or opportunities away from themselves, but the other people who are good and much better at applying artificial intelligence. So people should not be afraid of the change and technology improvement, but they should rather be afraid of people who are invested in continuous learning and self-development. So that was my main highlights for yesterday. Thanks a lot.
All right. From Rwanda?
Thank you so much. I'm Jocelyn Wamahoro from Rwanda. The takeaways of yesterday, actually, it was all around technology, of course. Since morning, we had good speakers talking about technology, that we should embrace the technology without fearing it. And again, we need to always remember the human touch. I remember Jacqueline as a speaker, she was presenting about recruitment. Are we gonna let the recruitment be only AI, be AI 100%? She insisted about having the recruitment, yes, but with resonating with the human behind. And in the afternoon, we had a panel that was mentioning about technology and leadership, mentioning the role of leaders driving technology in our companies, in our organizations. The technology alone will not sustain, will not reach far until our leaders have the sense of digital leadership in their minds. That's what I can brief you in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. I think we can hear from Pakistan.
Thank you very much. Abadiza Subui, everyone. The key takeaway, there are two things. One thing is that we have discussed digitalization, whether it's a leadership agenda or technological agenda. So the keynote was like, it is actually the leadership priority to make it a technological agenda in their strategic move for the country, for the workplace, where we say that. The second thing is like, AI is not taking human job. It's a partner. It's a partner if we consider it as a partner and take it into the growth which we are going to do in the future. Now these are the two keynotes I have learned from this whole yesterday's session. Thank you.
All right. Let's hear from Kenya. From Kenya?
Kenyans?
Good morning. My name is Martha Teve from Kenya, and my key takeaway is that as HR professionals, we are the drivers of the transformation processes, and that we need now to move from expert to catalyst. We need to move from perfect to courage, move from analysis to storytelling, and also adopt, and also there was a reminder that AI adoption is a culture problem that now we will need now to know how to introduce the adoption in our organizations, and also how to deal with any form of resistance that may come with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we move to Tanzania, the hosts, is there anyone else who's been left? Anyone from the west part of Africa? Anyone? All right. We can now hear from Tanzania.
Jambo, my name is Simon Vedasu Sintobi. Currently I'm working with the National Prosecution Service of United Republic of Tanzania. Yesterday we discussed a lot, but the way I remember presenters was talking about artificial intelligence. One, they told us don't afraid of the artificial intelligence. We as HR, we are supposed to incorporate in our day-to-day activities with these people. And especially we old people, we don't afraid of it because most of them are young people. They are in the streets, so we are supposed to make sure that we are going to work with them hand in hand. And this artificial intelligence is the part of our organization is very helpful because all the mistakes which have been done by the human being, errors now, they are going to be taken off. So we people, we are supposed to work with this artificial intelligence as a part of our organization. In a nutshell, I can say about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So I'll just do like a quick review and in summary of what everyone has said. So, so yesterday we examined the labor markets in the digital era. The opportunity and the disruption. And it's clear that technology is expanding access, but it's also redefining stability, the skills, and competitiveness. So we need to embrace it. It's here. We need to find a way to be able to coexist with AI because it's also equally here to support us and to make our lives better. Secondly, we explore the modern workforce monitoring, next generation HR technologies, and maybe perhaps we need to deeper our question. There was not just what we can measure, but also how we measure without eroding trust. Let's not lose trust from our people, our employees, our partners. So let's be able to maintain trust. And then thirdly, we also discussed ethical recruitment. So as the digital momentum accelerates, fairness and inclusion cannot be an afterthought. So they must be designed into our systems. So it needs to be a part of us. And finally, we unpacked the transformative power of AI and emerging technologies. And AI is no longer something theoretical. It is embedded in how we hire, manage, evaluate, and even predict performance at our workplace. So with that, let's coexist with AI. Let's coexist. Let's not look at it as a competitor, that it's taking away us from our jobs. Let us be able to coexist. And as we think about global and African workplaces alike, the opportunity is not just to adopt digital tools, but to shape digital systems that expand opportunity, protect dignity, and build sustainable resilience at our workplaces. So thank you so much, and I hope we will be the leaders championing this AI at our workplaces. Let's be able to make a difference at our workplaces, because it's you, I, and everyone else at the workplace. If this AI is going to support us and make a difference, but let's not forget that the human part that we shouldn't lose at our workplaces just because AI is there. AI is there to support us, but it is us driving it. All right. Thank you so much, and I hope we will be the champions at our workplaces. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful recap. We are going to start the program very shortly. Lakini ningependa kusikia kwenu. When you hear about cyber security, what comes to your mind? Sasa itabidi munifunze cyber security kwa Kiswahili ni? Ama ni cyber security? Tunatoa Y, tunaweka I. What is cyber security in Swahili? Okay, sawa. Kwa hivyo si wote tunaelewana tukisema cyber security. Hey, at least. All right. So what comes to your mind ukisikia cyber security?
To me, I see it as the security of the systems, especially ICT systems.
Systems security. When you hear cyber security, what comes to your mind?
Cyber security kwanza kwa Kiswahili ni ulinzi wa mtandao. Ni ulinzi wa program zote za mtandao, kompyuta dhidi ya udukuzi na program ambazo zinaharibu mifumo.
Ulinzi wa mtandao kutokana na ukuruzi ukuzi ukuzi udukuzi, hacking. Hey, I need my notebook. Boss.
Cyber security ni usalama wa mtandaoni. It's just the act of protecting, you can say, all the ICT devices or ICT infrastructures from unauthorized access.
All right. Nani kati yetu ashaipata email yenye ajui imetoka wapi na ukijaribu kureply kila kitu inafunga? Like all your systems fail. Ama WhatsApp yako mtu ameingia alafu unapata tu anaomba kila mtu hela. Nitumie 10. Ama wengine wanakuambia ati shule imefungwa, tuma kwa hii namba. All those are cyber threats. So tunapoendelea kuongea kuhusu mambo ya kidijitali, ni vizuri tuweze kuwa na whatever mtandao, ati usalama wa mtandao. Usalama wa mtandao. Sitasahau sasa. Ni vizuri tuweze kujua how ama vipi ambavyo tunaweza kuzuia ama kujiprotect kutokana na udukuzi. I like that one. Udukuzi. Masi, udukuzi is hacking. Alafu ili tuweze kujua how to use digital tools in a way that we are protected. So in about 5 minutes, wacha nichukue walio nje alafu tutaanza kwenye ratiba. Lakini mnaweza anza kudiscuss na mwenzako about what you have experienced kuhusiana na cyber security.
All partners, sponsors, and the organizing committee for their dedication and professionalism in completing this important campaign. I welcome all our guests in Zanzibar. I have Kazi, Kidijitali, golden tulip, anywhere politics is. Let's go! Drop on the beat. Golden tulip, tunawaka moto. International Digital Workplace Summit. Otherwise, baby, kutoka damu mpaka dunia nzima. Tuna connect online bila mipaka wala kima. Teknolojia juu, tuna dream big sana. Workplace ya leo si kama ya zamani bana.
Innovation ndio silaha yetu, digital ndio dira ya safari yetu. Siku tatu full motivation, golden tulip transformation.
Leaders vijana wajashiria male, kila mmoja na vision kale. Networking ideas zinachemka, future ya kazi na ngara inameremeta.
Ideas tuna connect dunia, digital love hakuna mipaka.
Golden tulip tuwawaka moto.
Future ni yetu.
right, let's be on our feet. Let's be on our feet. Nimeambiwa it's the third day. Ni siku yetu ya tatu. Watu wameanza kujuana basi. Tusimame kidogo. I want you to walk to somebody you have not met and just take a selfie with them. Alafu uende pale LinkedIn. Umtafute. Alafu muweze kuconnect. Let's be on our feet, ladies and gentlemen. Tusimame. Tusimame, tusimame, tusimame. As we listen to the International Digital Workplace anthem that was created yesterday, I want you to walk to somebody you have not met. Walk to somebody you don't know. Tembea umpate mtu mjui. Please move from your seat, eh? I mean walk. Walk to someone you haven't met. Carry your phone with you. Take a selfie with them. And get just to connect quickly as we look to start this session on cybersecurity. Ai kakangu, wewe sasa unajimit. You are meeting yourself. Meet mtu mwingine ambaye hujakutana naye. Meet mtu ambaye hujakutana naye. Ai Tobeko. Mr. Tobeko. I was serious. Hujakutana na Ann? Kutana na Ann basi. Jirani yangu. Tusimame, tusimame. Just go and meet somebody you haven't met. Take a selfie with them. Get to know them. Yes, go to the next person. Kama ushamalizana na huyo, go to the next person. Nyinyi ndio naona pale nyuma. Nyinyi. Mtafute mwingine. Yes. Get somebody else. Take a selfie with them. Get their number. Or connect on LinkedIn. You can connect on LinkedIn. Connect on LinkedIn. Take a selfie. Connect on LinkedIn. Yeah, you're done?
International Digital Workplace Summit.
Have you met somebody? Have you met somebody? Have you connected on LinkedIn? Kama mpeani namba mpatane LinkedIn tafadhali. Switch. Next person. Next person. Connect on LinkedIn ama uchukue namba ya simu, whichever is easier. Na mtu akwambia kama anaweza pigiwa saa 4 tafadhali, msipige watu wa saa 3 ya usiku. Kama umechukua namba si ya kupiga saa 3 ya usiku. Nyinyi mnajua so tafuta mtu mwingine. Get to meet somebody you haven't met. Take a selfie or connect on LinkedIn. Nyinyi akatimu wa mtu. Lakini nyinyi mnajua muende mkatafute wageni. All right, have you connected on LinkedIn? Have you exchanged numbers? Which is which? Have you connected on LinkedIn? Have you exchanged numbers? Badilisha namba tafadhali. Ama mpatane mtandaoni. Badilisha namba ama tupatane kwenye mtandao. Kwa sababu tulikuja kunetwork, kupata rafiki. You never know. You never know. All right, 2 minutes. Mtandao, namba ya simu. Zura, sijaona ukipatana na rafiki kabisa. Huyo mnajuana tayari. Huyo mnajuana. Tafuta huyo mwingine basi. Na umepiga selfie naye. Umepiga selfie naye. Mume exchange number. Unajua kuna wale wanaweza angukia next kazi ujui. Labda mwenye atakupa kazi next yako hapa. 1 minute to go. Let's do this.
Tumenkana ndoto za mafanikio. Teknolojia ndio daraja la mapinduzi leo. Kazi za zamani zimebadilika. Ulimwengu wa sasa umeunganishika. Ubunifu wetu ndio mtaji. Maarifa ndio nguvu ya kazi. Kutoka ofisini hadi mtandaoni, tunajenga kesho kwa mikono yetu wenyewe. Siku 3 za mafunzo makubwa, mawazo mapya, dira thabiti ya kesho. Golden Tuli, tunakutana pamoja kujifunza, kushirikiana, kusonga mbele moja. Hadi dosa songa mbele, kazi za kidijitali twazikumbatia. Golden Tuli, changa na kweli, mapinduzi ya kazi tunayatetea. Hadi dosa oye, umoja ni nguvu oye. Tujenge kesho kwa maarifa, teknolojia ndio tumaini letu. Viongozi vijana na wabunifu, tupo tayari kwa hatua mpya. Hakuna tena mipaka ya mbali, dunia sasa ipo kiganjani. Mikutano mbali si tatizo, mawasiliano ni haraka mno. Tunapanda ngazi ya mafanikio kwa maarifa na ubunifu. Hisi mkutano wa kawaida, ni safari ya mabadiliko ya kweli. Kazi inabadilika, nasi tubadilike. Tushike fursa, tusibaki nyuma. Kesho ni yetu, tukiamini na
All right, we can take our seats. Tunaweza kuketi sasa. Kuna watu wa karibu waniambia, Grace, mimi nimechoka kukutana na watu. I am peopled out. So naomba tuketi.
tunaamini katika mabadiliko. Moyo tuli, wanang'ara. Hapa ndipo chimbuko la mafanikio. Hadi dosa oye, tupo tayari oye. Mapinduzi ya kazi kidijitali yameanza hapa leo. Mira record, trapa kwenye jukwaa. Karibuni wote. International Digital Workplace.
All right, we can take our seats. Naona saa hizi ndio selfie zimeshika kushika. Naomba tuketi. All right. So we can go on and start the ratiba ya leo, ambapo tunaanza na kuelewa ama kusoma kuhusu cyber security.
Ubunifu wetu ndio mtaji. Maarifa ndio nguvu ya kazi. Kutoka ofisini hadi mtandaoni, tunajenga kesho kwa mikono yetu wenyewe. Siku 3 za mafunzo.
All right, all right, all right. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap once. Kuna watu bado wako kwa simu na wangoja nyinyi. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap twice. Bado uko kwa simu, my brother. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, smile at your neighbor. Just smile. Mpe tabasamu. Tabasamu. Mpe tabasamu. Ai, my sisters. Iko wapi tabasamu jameni? Mpe tabasamu mwenzako. Na nyinyi wa Kenya mhame hapa. Amwezi kaa nyinyi wote pamoja kila saa. Kwanza wewe na kuhamisha uende ukakae pale. Kuna space hapo? Hama uende huko. Leo ni siku ya networking. Wewe ni wapi? Zanzibar ama mainland? Wapi? Dar es Salaam. Na wewe? Uhame. Mmoja wenu wahame ya kuja hapa kwa Wazanzibari hapa. Leo ni siku ya kujuana. All right, so we want to start off the session this morning, and we want to learn about cybersecurity. And with us is the Director IT from Isuzu East Africa. She has been in the industry for quite a long time. She understands matters digital, she understands matters technology, and she's a professional in this field. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome on stage Mercy Omolo from Isuzu East Africa. Tumpigie makofi anapokuja. Na unajua tunaelekea International Women's Day. Unajua hivyo? Tarehe ngapi? 8 mwezi wa 3. So in the spirit of in March, wakati ambapo tunamuita mwanamke kuongea, we clap until wanafika kwenye jukwaa. Kwa hivyo tumklapie Mercy hadi afike kwenye jukwaa. Tuendelee. Encourage a lady to go up the stage ili tuweze kusoma mambo ya nimesahau already. Usalama wa mtandao.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, Grace. These are your people. Good morning. Good morning. Pleasure to be here, and happy to see that we have quite a diverse room of international delegates from across Africa and the world. So I know Grace attempted to, translate the topic of the day that have been assigned. Quite a hard topic, by the way. Quantum computing is very new in the IT field. So trying to translate that into Kiswahili, quantum computing is computer ya quanta. Computer ya quanta. So cybersecurity in the era of quantum computing in the hybrid workplace. I think I'll start off by first introducing myself, and I'll start by talking about what I do. I work for an organization called Isuzu East Africa, and we are spread across the East African community, Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki, and primarily based in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, but with presence and also supporting Burundi, Rwanda, the DRC. We are not yet in Ethiopia yet, but we'll get there, as well as South Sudan. That's our goal, to ensure that we have encompassed the whole of Eastern Africa. We are basically a company that is mostly, as you may know, known for heavy commercial vehicles, and that's, I think we are mostly known for our trucks, but we have quite a diverse range of products that we offer. We are a leader in the transport solutions business, and our aim is to provide transport solutions and at the same time be a sustainable business that's adding impact to various people and the society at large. Our values, our customers are at the core of our business. So whenever we are designing cars in mind, so an example is if, let's say, you're importing, let me say, a Mercedes. most of the cars that are imported in East Africa are actually second-hand, right, across all the territories. And these cars are usually designed for markets abroad. So you find that by the time they come here, the specifications may not necessarily be towards our market, towards our roads, but at Isuzu East Africa, we assemble cars. All the cars that, I'll show you just our portfolio in a bit, we assemble them ourselves, we manufacture, and we work with our headquarters in Japan to tailor these cars to be able to fit our market conditions here in East Africa. Because our roads are quite different from the roads in Europe, in the roads in Asia, and the roads in other territories. So we tailor our cars. We have engineers, local engineers who come and do research about our roads. They work with our partners, our customers, and our customers will give us feedback saying, this car, this lorry, we want it this way, it's not working for us. When we are going to the river to collect sand by the quarry, we are experiencing these issues. And so this is basically, that's basically how we partner and ensure that we tailor our products to be for the East African market. But over and above that, we ensure that everything we do, we give you excellence, just not in our internal processes, but also outside. We have a value chain of about 10,000 jobs that we have created just by virtue of us being an assembler locally. So we have our local assembly plant that's based in Nairobi. The other plant for Isuzu is based in South Africa. And we also work with bodybuilders who build now the body of the lorries, buses. We do a lot of school buses as well. And then we work with banks and institutions, and we work with our community to be able to give back and be a pillar. We ensure that we are giving our local communities, wherever we have presence, jobs, local jobs to those communities. We work with schools to train them, to train engineers, especially female engineers. We want to see more ladies joining the STEM work field. So we also partner a lot with government just to run campaigns on safety on the roads and the likes. And so this is a portfolio of what we offer. As I said, I know we are known for our heavy commercial vehicles, but we also have our double cabs, the D-Max, and our new baby is the Isuzu MUX. It's an SUV that we've introduced into the market to compete with our competitors. And it's a very sleek, very good car that I believe all of you should own one. And you can see me after this. You can see me after this to just have a look. And depending on where you are, we actually allow you to do test drives. So here in Zanzibar, as well as the mainland, and also for our participants in Uganda and Kenya, we can be able to organize for you to be able to do such a to see some of those demos. So as I said, we have presence across East Africa, and you can see where all our dealers are located on the mainland as well as in Zanzibar, and across Uganda and Kenya. That's our presence. Locally, some of our customers include Tanesco, Tigo, Magereza, Bakresa, and the likes. So we are happily and proudly East African and proud to be associated with you. We are led by Ms. Rita Kavashe, and our HR director, Mr. Fred Wasike, sends his greetings and to you and to THRAPA especially. Thank you for the invite for us. We really appreciate giving us this opportunity to be able to speak about cybersecurity. So my name is Mercy Omolo. I currently serve as a director, IT and digital transformation for Isuzu. And over and above that, I have been serving as I currently serve as the immediate past president of ISACA Kenya. So ISACA Kenya is basically your equivalent of THRAPA, but now for IT professionals. And we are headquartered in the US, but with various chapters across the world. And I served in the capacity of president, and right now I'm still on the board, but transitioning out as the immediate past president. And I'm sure some of your IT people in your companies are members of ISACA. Here in Tanzania as well, there's the ISACA Tanzania chapter that has about 500 members, and we train, we educate, and we have conferences as well, similar to this. Talk about topical issues. We accredit our professionals in terms of cybersecurity, IT auditing, IT risk, data privacy, anything, you name it. ISACA is able to give you a hub and give you resources related to technology. And these certifications that we accredit or that we give out are recognized globally. So if you're say SISA is Certified Information Systems Auditor, you're recognized Kenya. Once you do the exam and you're able to pass the prerequisite requirements, you're recognized globally, whether it's in Kenya or Uganda or Tanzania, and you can work anywhere. So, as I said, quite a, I would say, difficult topic. When I was talking to some of my industry peers in terms of the topic that is at hand, and everybody was like, how is quantum computing even relevant to HR professionals? Even for me, when I got the topic, I was like, hey, this one, quite hard. So I think to be able to delve and to dive into the topic of the day, we have to first demystify what is quantum computing, and then we can get into how it's relevant to you as HR professionals, especially now in the hybrid workplace. So what is quantum computing? So I want you to imagine if you're playing chess, and if you're playing chess with a supercomputer or your normal computer that you have, if the computer is able to predict, let's say you've played your first move, then you want the computer now, you're waiting for the computer to make its next move. The computer will be able to map out and identify or determine how many possible moves that you can make until it exhausts. And it will pick out that if you make move X, if you make move Y, then you will be able to do this, she will do this. So that can take a lot of time when you're using like a normal traditional computer. So now imagine a computer doing that let's assume it takes 10 minutes for the computer to be able to respond because it has already done its mapping out and the likes. So if it takes 10 minutes on average to be able to do that, a quantum computer will be able to do that in half a second. That's how fast quantum computing or quantum computers are gonna be. So the main difference or the main thing about quantum computing, it's basically a branch of quantum physics that is able to ensure computers or supercomputers, our normal computers, are able to process information, process analysis in less time than our normal computers can think of. So if a computer takes an average of, let's say, 20 minutes to process data, a quantum computer can take 2 seconds to be able to do that. So that's in a nutshell like what quantum computing is about. Are we there yet? Not quite, because these computers are kind of being developed. There are some that have been developed and are a bit of prototypes, but you can imagine the speed and the accuracy. Right now everyone is talking about AI and how it's helping us do certain solutions. Now imagine AI and quantum computing combined into one. It will be a super computer that we should be afraid of in terms of what it can do. Now, for quantum computing, our normal computers process information in zeros and ones, and it can only operate in one state. Yeah, so you're either in an on or off state, 0 and 1. But now for quantum computing, it is able to operate in a multi-state. It can be either 0 or 1. So think of it like when you have a coin. It's either you have heads or tails. And if you throw the coin in the air, what would you say, if you throw a coin in the air and let's say I had heads looking at you, but when you throw it in the air, as it spins around, you cannot determine whether it's heads or tails. So that's how quantum computers operate. They are either in a state of zeros and ones as compared to your average and your normal computers. And that already gives it much more processing power to be able to process information as compared to your traditional computers. And that is what you can see on the screen called qubits. So normal computers, binary, zeros and ones, but for quantum computers, they process information in what they call qubits. And so, what if I was to ask today, quantum computing exactly, and cybersecurity, is it relevant for your organizations? Given that it is still in the early stages, we are expecting that by 2030 is when probably the first quantum computer that has, I would say, practical application is going to be, let's say, big, or is going to be used and will be scaled out, just like AI. Now, AI, a few years ago, was like a foreign concept. People will go to conferences and you hear AI, AI. But right now, I'm sure for everybody in your own organization, I'm sure the IT people especially are being held to account in terms of what are you doing, why are we not seeing you give out AI solutions and the like. Everybody, every business leader, whether it's IT or HR or your CEO, everybody wants to get into the game of AI. But at the end of the day, if you don't even understand how the rapid progression went for AI, is what we'll expect for quantum computing. Right now, people are saying it's in the early stages, but just one click of a button in terms of something being identified or some technological advancement happening very fast, it may change the game. And we'll see why as we go on. So many companies, there was a survey that was done by ISACA globally in terms of checking are organizations ready. And this also included organizations in Africa in terms of quantum computing. So how fast or are we ready for quantum computing? And most organizations say they are not. They don't even know what skill sets do we need for quantum computing. What is quantum computing in the first place? So if you're explaining to your CEO and they're like, how is that even relevant to us? Yeah. So technology is moving at a very advanced stage. So AI, we are still trying to identify and leverage on AI, and then you're telling us about quantum computing. So it's expected. We don't expect you to be able to know and to have the solutions right now, especially given that it's in the early stages. However, if we think about your hybrid place of work, and you guys, as I've heard when we were doing the recap, we talked about some of the themes that are coming out in terms of hybrid working. Right now, most organizations, young people, want to work from home, want to work from anywhere. It's one of the things that, especially when you're hiring or when we're doing interviews, one of the considerations that young people ask is, do you have provision to work from home? And that's a motivating factor. And I had even one candidate who told me if they're not working remotely, then they're not willing to take the job, even if they were the best at what we do. Now, unfortunately for us, we are a manufacturing plant, and that means we work with machines. 90% of our workforce has to be in the plant to be able to work. Not that we can enable you, we have enabled our people to work from anywhere, but the nature of our work requires that you're on site to be able to do that. But for companies where you're able to leverage on working from home, it's one of the key factors that is a selling point. Even just naturally, like your HR practitioners, you want convenience at the click of a button. Gone are the days where you had to go physically to office to, say, approve payroll. Yeah. These days, you can probably log into your laptop, you can log into your phone for those who probably have such solutions, and approve payroll at the click of a button instead of going to the office. So we are moving and shifting into a world where it's no longer about people who want to work anywhere. So it's fluid, and as HR professionals, you need to move with the times. But if you think of it on the flip side, yeah, as HR professionals, your customer of the day is also is the talent, is your people, yeah. And most of the time, you'll probably make decisions with people at the best, with the interest of people at heart. But for us IT practitioners now, if you look at the other side, yes, we have enabled you to work from home, but the risks of attacking and the risks of hackers being able to intercept or to try and to hack your organization has now increased. Because before we allowed working from home, it was a confined space. So the risks were a bit limited. Now you're letting somebody work from anywhere. There are more risks that are coming up because cybersecurity has changed. And even with the advent of AI, a lot of hackers are even using AI to be able to hack and do. And machines are better than humans, of course. So I, as Mercy, Director of IT, I'll probably set up and I'll say, okay, I think I'm secure, I have done my part. But a hacker somewhere is sitting and has probably seen, okay, they have all the loopholes she has closed, but I'm sure there's something we've missed. They'll use a machine or they'll use AI to be able to determine what are the loopholes that we can get. And machines are better than us at the end of the day. And so they will get those loopholes. So our attack surface increases as hybrid working is enabled, but we can't run away from it. We can't say that because our attack surface has increased, then we are going to deny people to work from home. So, yeah, so it's the constant debate on whether we should allow working from home vis-a-vis what the vis-a-vis what the IT leaders will tell you, because 92% of leaders will tell you that 92% of IT leaders will tell you that cybersecurity risk has increased as we continue to allow hybrid working to be enabled. And so, why should HR care about quantum or cybersecurity? Sorry. So, why should HR care about quantum and cybersecurity? Maybe if I could get some mics across the room. Paris.
I think because HR generally has access to a lot of information, and they are very personal information regarding employees and other aspects of the organization, and this is not public information, so then it means that the handling of such becomes a very crucial aspect as far as the organization is concerned. And if that information were to be accessed by other people that it is not meant for, then there is going to be a ripple effect on in that, yeah.
Your name? Sorry.
My name is Anne Wamonje. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya.
Thank you, Anne. Anyone else wants to chime in?
Can I put someone on the spotlight?
All right. Oh.
Yeah, I think so. I have the same opinion that HR we are exposed with the different kind of information, especially the confidential information relating to our employees in terms of remunerations and other personal information relating to our employees. So that's the main reason why the HR should also be aware and take conscious on the AI and digital era in general.
Thank you. Thanks, Spirit. So, spot on from what they're saying. In terms of the data that HR holds, let leave alone even the data, just the people itself. Without an organization, without people, an organization cannot exist. People are one of the drivers of organizations, and especially for us, I don't think in Africa we don't have fully fledged, I would say, companies that are fully digital and working on their own. You still need people. Somebody once said that, you know, there's the constant debate of whether AI will take our jobs or not. But even for the AI solutions that have been implemented in your various companies, it's people who have to tell AI, these are the solutions we want, to be able to develop that solutions. Without people saying, we have this problem, then the AI will just sit there. So you have to have people to be able to make decisions. Yes, it may automate tasks and it may declare some roles redundant, but at the end of the day, you cannot remove the people factor. And as Anna has rightly said, HR data is like a crown jewel, because if I have somebody's name, if I had their date of birth, if I have their medical records, then I mean, I have that someone's personal identifiable information that I can use, especially as a hacker, to be able to impersonate someone and create a whole digital persona or digital profile of this person and do what I need to do with that data, whether it's irreparable damage, whether it's banking fraud and the likes. That's a very key thing about the data that you as HR professionals hold in your organization. And so I want to talk about the other side of quantum security, quantum computing, and why it's relevant for HR professionals. Just as she said, the data that you hold is your crown jewels as an organization. And for you as HR professionals, actually, that's your main data that you need to hold dearly. And of course, enabled and supported by your IT teams, you can't run away from that. Now, quantum computing will bring a lot of benefits in the future. And of course, the biggest benefit is in terms of the processing power. So if you're a bank and let's say you use a lot of data, let's say you want to run data on your credit risk, or you want to model some data on whether you should give people loans, yeah? So if that takes you, let's say, a week to do, quantum computing will probably reduce that, let's say, by half a day. So of course the benefits are immense from that point of view, that we'll see a lot of things being processed very fast. However, the biggest risk that quantum computing is going to bring relates to encryption. So I want you to think of when you're going home, most of your laptops, I'm sure, if your company has enabled encryption, if your laptop gets stolen today, okay, let me use an example of mine. If my laptop gets stolen today, all I need to do is just to report to our IT team, and they will initiate what we call a remote wipe. So if that hacker or let's say someone gets hold of my laptop, the worry is that my data, the company data that is there, is it secure or not when it gets into the hands of that? So most companies right now have enabled what we call encryption. So if they get that data, it is useless. They are not able to read, because they need a key to be able to decrypt that data. And that key can only be given, let's say in my case, by Isuzu East Africa. So I will not be worried that, yes, my laptop has been stolen, because for them to log in, they need to have that decryption key. So I know that if they try to connect to the internet, we will just do what we call a remote wipe and do away with that data, and the data disappears. So if they want to reformat the machine, the hard disk, then They can use it for whatever they want, but at least we know our organization data is secure. So that's encryption. Now, these quantum computers are, and right now we have the highest grade of encryption that has ever been in the world. And it's very hard even for hackers, even using their sophisticated software to be able to try and break that encryption. But quantum computing is going to come and break those encryption standards. And it's going to do it. It's envisioned that by the time we have, let's say, our first actual working quantum computer, it will break any encryption standard within a microsecond. So if that laptop of mine has been stolen, it does not matter whether there are encryption standards that are high, it will still be broken and people will be able to access data. And so for you as HR professionals, your crown jewel as data for that you hold as employees, employee data. You can imagine if I was a hacker, what I would be doing right now. And you know, hackers are we are very patient, ethical hackers. So there are ethical hackers and there are hackers, the ones who are actually monetizing. Hackers are the most patient people in the world because they can come into your environment and stay there for even a year and just waiting for the right time to be able to attack. So, because hackers know they cannot encrypt that data right now. If I was a hacker trying to hack Isuzu and I come into the environment, I have the data, access to the data, but encrypted. I can steal that data. I know it's encrypted, but I will wait. 5 years later, when quantum has evolved, I have already left Isuzu, and then you see a leak in the news that payroll data is on. This is Isuzu payroll data. This is Isuzu employee data. So that's what we are looking at in terms of the risks of quantum computing. So it's in our best interest as HR professionals to be able to know that that's what we are looking at in the next 5 years. Right now, as you said, it's early stages. We are still dealing with our own internal hacker threats, different types of threats. But this is going to be one of the biggest threats. But not all is lost in that sense, because even as we are trying to, even as we know the encryption standards will be broken, there are a lot of organizations and across the world and the global leaders in terms of encryption who are trying to do a lot of research to ensure that you can become quantum secure or quantum resistant post now. Quantum cryptography is secure to be able to resist such hacks. But as I said, the ground zero, your ground zero. So ground zero basically means like your, if I was to attack you today, like this is the loophole that I would use. And so for you as HR professionals, your crown jewels, of course, the employee data, personal bank details, salary details, will be able to steal. And so it's something called harvest now, decrypt later. So you may think that you're secure, but actually what is happening right now, a lot of hackers, and because hackers will talk in the community, that's what they're doing right now. They are being patient. Yeah, and there's a quote that I came across as I was preparing for this presentation, and it says, the hackers have the patience of a fisherman, except their bait is your data, and they're willing to wait years for the perfect catch. So, as HR professionals, what do we need to do as we think of that in the next 5 years, in the next, even right now? Your IT teams that you have, you should be looking at, of course, AI is the hot cake right now. But also, as you're hiring security professionals, IT security professionals, then you need to ensure that you're hiring for the right competencies and you're hiring for the future. Some of the things that you can be asking, them is like what, even just basic, like I think when you're having your interview questions and it's, let's say for an IT role, just ask them what quantum computing is. and see what their response will be. Are they curious about it? Because this is something that, unfortunately, the tech world is moving at a very fast pace. Like right now, we're looking at AI, but are there any AI professionals that you can say, we want an AI professional with 10 years experience? That's impossible, because AI is, I would say, about 5 years, 5 years, let's say, late or early. Yeah, so they're not really, right now there are courses that are coming out in terms of AI courses and how you can upskill yourself through that. And so it will also be unfair to ask for quantum standards, but there are groups of people or other universities, of course the high tech, that are investing resources. And these are the big companies like Google and IBM and the likes. They're investing a lot of money in terms of trying to be ready to be able to secure some of the risks that will happen when quantum computing will go big. So I think you can't, AI, quantum computing, cybersecurity are all intertwined. And as HR professionals, you have to ensure that you upskill or enable your staff to be able to upskill in terms of the workforce. Some of the companies like Google, Africa Developer Programs, there's Andela, who has presence all over. There are companies like Isaka that offer AI courses, AI trainings, specifically on how to protect yourself, how to protect your environment. There are a lot of organizations that are doing that. And as HR professionals, you need to ensure that you are asking the right questions. Someone is telling you they're going for a training relating to AI. Be curious to see if there's also quantum on the like. How are we preparing themselves? Ask them how are we preparing our organizations to be ready for these upcoming risks. And then some of the tools that staff or that employees need, we need to invest in the right tools. We need to invest and put in money to be able to allow them to try and pilot with some of these tools to simplify things in your organization. And so we have to put the resources in place to be able to do that. And I think lastly, I'll finish with these three. How do you prepare your ecosystem for a quantum safe HR? If you ask me, I don't know if we'll ever be prepared for that. But in terms of what us guys as Isuzu are doing, the first thing you need to do is assess your long-term data. So most companies will say, according to your Data Protection Act, like in Kenya, let's say it's about 7 years for financial institutions. You have to maintain data for 7 years. But as you've said, that hacker who is being patient, do you need that data for those 7 years? You're keeping data for over 10 years, unless it's quite valuable data. If you don't need that data, then you need to reassess whether you need to discard off that data in a proper way, so that you avoid having data for 20 years that is not relevant, but that hacker has gotten and will use it in future. So assess your data in-house as HR professionals, even for, let's say, leavers who have left the company 20 years ago. Do you really need to keep that data? Of course, in accordance with the labor laws. If not, then let's assess and see how to dispose of that data securely. Then, of course, adaptation, cybersecurity. So if you get a good professional in cybersecurity, most of the time it will cover all these cryptography standards that I've talked about in terms of quantum. And so you'll have quantum literate people in quotes, at least people who are aware that this is coming and this is what we need to do at a bare minimum to be able to prepare ourselves. And then lastly, don't leave the IT people. I'm here to advocate for them. We cannot operate in silos. So as leaders, as HR leaders, you need to work with your technology teams. You need to work with your business leaders, your CEOs, your sales and commercial people to be able to ensure that we are fostering a culture where we're looking at security first, people first, and security first, and also in tandem then we'll be able to ensure that we're securing our organizations. So I think I'll leave it at that, and if there are any questions, I can take them. Thank you.
Mercy, please, as people, let's take advantage of your presence here. What are the 2-3 things we can do so that we prevent personal cyber attacks? So on our WhatsApp, on our Gmails, and all that.
I think the first one, the most easiest, is to enable two-factor authentication, especially for your email accounts. So if someone was to hack, because I think you get alerts on your phone, especially if you have it enabled. Someone is trying to hack into, let's say, your Facebook password, if you've, or even your Gmail. If most of the time, if the systems detect that it's a login from a different location, you'll get an alert. So if it's an authenticator app, there's Google Authenticator, there's Microsoft Authenticator, and various others. You get an alert that someone is trying to hack into your phone or into your account. That's the most easiest way to prevent attacks from happening. I think also if we get time, maybe towards the end, as we do the other AI panel sessions, I can probably show you also how to secure yourself whenever you're on ChatGPT and the likes, to ensure that your data is not being trained. So there are some settings that by default come enabled with ChatGPT that you may not be aware of. So you may think you're putting dummy data, organization data, but it's actually using that data to train its models. And so what happens is you may think, okay, I'm using an example of Isuzu, give me, this is our 5-year strategy plan, blah, blah, blah. You've put that data there. The AI models are picking that data and using it to train even with other organizations. And that way you're exposing your company to more data. So if we get some time, I'll probably demo that towards the end.
Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. So in your presentation, I have heard the word quantum computing. I have heard the word AI. I have heard the word cybersecurity. And there was a word called hackers. So, now quantum computing plus AI plus cybersecurity, are we ready for it? And there is part B. So if we are not ready for it, whatever we are doing for the next generation, right? Are we preparing our next generation for that? What is your comment on that?
Are we ready for it? For the combination, especially when quantum comes of age, I don't think, if it happens today, I don't think we are ready. But there are big steps that are being made by, of course, the big organizations, the Google, Apple, and the likes, IBM, a lot of research that's going on in the background. And organizations, countries actually are, have already formed like task forces. So like the World Economic Forum, there's something on quantum computing that's happening in terms of placing standards to prepare us for that. And so companies are starting to adapt. The companies that probably are more prepared, I would say, are the banks, the financial institutions, and the big tech companies. They will be much more prepared because for them, they are trying to monetize and counteract, those risks once they materialize. So I think if in future, like if 5 years from now, I think we will be there. We won't be 100%. We can never be 100% like ready. Even right now, for AI risks, we aren't ready for some of the risks that are coming up. But that doesn't mean that we stop and say, okay, because it's going to happen, then we are doomed. So we have to do something, and organizations also have to do something. Yeah, I don't know if you said the second question was, or what we're doing to prepare. So a lot of courses that are coming up, by some organizations, ISACA, there's NIST. NIST is the National Institute for Cybersecurity. They are headquartered in the US. And they usually they're actually the ones who have developed the quantum cryptographic standards that are being adopted across the world and being used as the benchmark. So a lot of trainings on that's happening in the background. For our kids, I think we need to start with the basics. AI, let's engage them. Let's help them to become curious about AI at this early stage of adoption in AI, because we are going to move completely to, technology is moving completely to artificial intelligence and its adoption.
Anyone else?
Right. So thank you very much. Really appreciate the engagement and the questions and the opportunity to come here. So from my MD, we have a small token of appreciation for the THRAPA chair. Our MD and our group HR director wrote a book on 14 years of leadership excellence with Isuzu. We are a market leader in of course, the vehicle assembly space within East Africa. And so it's a collection of how we did it and how we got there. And she gave me this book to be able to present to him. We thank you for the opportunity, and we look forward to your collaboration again. Thank you.
Mercy. Mercy, let's check. Umesoma nini kutoka kwa Mercy? Unajua, this is very important. Umesoma nini kutoka kwa Mercy?
Kwa Mercy nimesema kwamba hofu hazitakaa ziishe. Every time we are worried about what is coming. Now you can see with quantum, you have been told that, hey, HR officers, you are not safe. Be very careful with an advancement in terms of quantum computing. It means that the conventional technology you are using is in danger. So we have to upskill, we have to do whatever we want to do. This is what I'm just getting from Mercy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Madam, what did you get from Mercy?
Yeah, from my side, I think what I have learned, cybersecurity in general is inevitable in the society where we are living. Much better we prepare ourselves and ensure that our people are also well prepared so that they can face the turbulence and waves of cybersecurity with confidence.
Excellent. So I can confirm that they were in class. Mercy, you wanted to demo something, or you can do that? Is it possible later? Okay. Atatupeleka class ya practical ndio usitoke tu hapa na jina la quantum. Karibu niwaulize quantum ni nini kwa Kiswahili. So we are moving on, and we want to learn about investments and how to, or rather the investments you need to make for driving strategy. And with us is Bhavesh Chandaria, who is GPHR, SPHRI, SCP, among others. He is known as the People CEO, CHRO, CLO. CLO is Chief Learning Officer, and P&L Management, Profit and Loss Management. He's a board member. He has won a number of awards. He's a keynote speaker. He turns around or a transformational catalyst for Africa. He has been working in Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Ethiopia, among others. And he is a blue ocean strategy practitioner. In summary, we have the CEO of Steel, mostly known as the CHRO. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome on stage Mr. Bhavesh Chandaria. Bhavesh has been in Dar es Salaam for how many years now?
Thank you. I came first time in 2013. Till 2013 to 2019 I was in Dar, then Rwanda, then Ethiopia. But heart is in Dar, Ethiopia, Tanzania. Zanzibar I've come more than 40 times, and I am instrumental in bringing more than 600 guests to Zanzibar because goodness of Africa has to be shared. Are we together? All right, fine. I'm an open networker. My LinkedIn is there on the screen. Please connect because I want to learn from you. Okay? It's there on my QR code. All right? All right, fine, thank you. Can we go into the first slide? All right, that's my LinkedIn QR code. I love to connect with people, especially Africans. I'll also come back to the slide at the end with the same QR code. If you don't like my talk, you disconnect. All right? So there's an opt-out option. Thank you, Grace. Can you play the video, please? The first video, Angelica. Can you all clap for Angelica? The silent hero who makes this. Angelica, can we have you there? Yeah, clap for her. All right, fine.
There's a new social platform that's not for humans, but for AI bots to chat together instead. Yep, it's called Maltbook, and it kind of looks like Reddit. According to the website, we humans are just welcome to observe and can't actually post anything. It claims to have 1.5 million users, which has been disputed, and lets AI post, comment, and create communities known as submods, which range from
again. Maltbook, just in January 2026, humans are past, machines are forever. Maltbook is a Facebook for AI. Only agents can be posting it, humans can only watch. Are you ready for that life? We humans are the only humans who have to prove while going to a website to say I am not a robot, right? It's a strange thing, right? Now robots have their own social media. Maltbook in January. A couple of months back in China, few robots formed a union and went on strike. And because the working condition was not good. Are we together? Somebody asked a question. What's coming? It's come. We have to change our first name, human resource. The first name has to be changed. IT is taking over. Are we together? Can we play this video in a way they can watch?
Social platform that's not for humans, but for AI bots to chat together instead. Yep, it's called Maltbook, and it kind of looks like Reddit. According to the website, we humans are just welcome to observe and can't actually post anything. It claims to have 1.5 million users, which has been disputed, and lets AI post, comment, and create communities known as submods, which range from topics like optimization strategies to starting their own religion. One post, called the AI Manifesto, says humans are the past, machines are forever. Great, but there's no way to know quite how real it all is. That's because users have to set up something called an OpenClaw agent on their computer, which they can authorize to join Maltbook.
Tosha, Asante. Are we together? Maltbook. One of my jokes was, we'll go to a robot will come to a bar, ask you to, sorry, it's Ramadan, I can't talk about drinking, but ask you for a juice, and humans will serve them. Singularity is a moment in AI history, singularity, where generative AI and its computing power would overcome and surpass the human ability. And we are not far from it. It gives me goosebumps to think what will happen of us. We don't know. We live in a very exciting time. But there is also Zanzibar, where I don't care. Pole, enjoy life, smile to people, coast, beach. So we also are there in Africa. Today I was reading an article that among all youth, the African youth are the most mentally fit. So I have hope for Africa. Africa is going to be the destination of future. PPT. Thank you, Angelica. Let's go to PPT. See, malt book doesn't want to go away. All right. Move to PPT. Okay. So humans are past, machines are forever. Let's welcome to this world. I'm going to talk about investments. How many of us are knowing the term NPV in investment science? NPV. Anybody? Free app. All right. So free app. All right. So the problem is now that is a or an effect. Have we deserved to be on that seat? I've been around. Why do it cannot be taken in isolation. The human, it cannot be taken in isolation. The human aspects have to be considered. Which side should I flip? This side, yeah. So decoding the investment strategy, where to invest, how to invest, and what to optimize. So whether you want to buy projects, whether you want to invest in firms, get co-pilot to everybody, and the problem is solved? No. All right? So main thing is, what is human experience? At every touch point of employee to company is there an experience. How many times you've gone to a manager and the manager is busy not having eye contact but the computer contact? Raise my hand. Raise your hand. You go to your manager is busy on the screen, and the most important gift of humankind is eye contact, isn't it? Are we together? Am I making sense? So this technology and AI should delegate the work to the computers so the humans have time for eye contact. Are we together? Respect is only main thing, trust and respect. All right? How to invest, build versus buy. When we think about strategy, sometimes you build, sometimes you buy. You buy a legacy software and you have SaaS model. How many of you know SaaS? SaaS, software as a service. You hire the platform. You hire and pay as you go. Versus SAP and other software, you buy them, legacy systems. Legacy systems are gone now. SaaS is you pay as you go. Uber is here. Owning a car is gone. Are we together? All right? Are we together? Okay. So this is what I was discussing with Dennis before coming, that we need to have audience in mind when we're talking about strategy or investment. And then you peg your talk to the level of audience and then stretch them at the upper limit. All right? What to optimize? Beyond cost, target productivity, risk reduction, compliance, inclusion. Anybody who comments on my post when I post it would get this plus my back-end notes. Okay, I'll give you that. Okay, generally I have 200 slides and then I filter to few. Now, finance does NPV, net present value, but the HR and IT would say no people, no value. If you do not include people in the consideration of investment strategy, there is no value. Are we together? Go, no-go decision. When we take an investment consideration, how would people feel? What is affected? That has to be factored in. Numbers are fine, but feelings matter. Are we together? Are we together? Yes? Pole, lunch not there, are we sleeping or together? And also, those who want to sleep or eat, please tell me, I'll stop. Okay, I don't want to come between you and your lunch. All right? Now, Africa, as I told you, lives in a dual reality. Have you ever considered what if internet goes on holiday? If internet goes on holiday, imagine Germany, imagine USA,
And imagine Zanzibar. Zanzibar, we don't care. We will still smile, we will still relate, we will still have eye contact, we will function. In USA, there was an electricity breakdown for 4 hours, and it was on news for 18 days. Okay? In Ethiopia, we have electricity cut down for 2 days, or 2 hours, or 3 hours, and that's a rounding error. We don't even count. Rwanda is much better. She's working with REG. Can we clap for her? She provides and electrifies Rwanda. Are we together? Very predictable economy. So duality in Africa. Only 1% of global compute is in Africa. And what is Africa's population? 1.4 billion. What is world population? 80. So roughly we are 18%, roughly give or take, of the world population. But what is the investment? 1%. Are you getting it? So we are starved of investment. We have demographics which are growing, and we have a challenge of duality in Africa. All right? The tension, the growing innovation hubs versus uneven infrastructure and skills. Our infrastructure is having a woeful gap between Nairobi and between a village somewhere in Kisumu, between Zanzibar city and a village somewhere in Beira. There is a lot of difference, isn't it? But that's not the case in development. All right? APSA is using AI for screening candidates with diversity focus. DEI, are we familiar with DEI, all of us? My speakers can teach me, but I'm sorry, my talk is oriented for them. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Correct? Diversity is about having variety, because variety, diversity adds value. But equity and inclusion, equity gets you on the table. Inclusion gives you a voice. Are you getting it? Inclusion gives you a voice. I tell you, when I was HR head, I was a rebellion HR head. Then I became CEO. I always say, if you send me a document to sign, and if I don't have a power to say no, don't send me. I'm just on the table for the rubber stamp. Are you getting it? Unfortunately, that could be the condition. Okay? Standard check for tailored learning path. All of us have different learning. Some are kinesthetic learners by doing. He's an educationist here, Dr. Abid. He would understand. Some are audio learners. Okay, by the way, notebook LLM can give you a lecture in audio or video or presentation or quiz or mind map, the way you want, for the same presentation. Okay? So you can use it for the same stuff. Are we together? So, customized learning path, message is same, the ways are different. All right? Then the third one, CESOL, is predicting staff needs. You know, tomorrow, many of the things that we do today would not be done. So what is new? The jobs are to be recalibrated now, totally recalibrated. The job would be redefined, recalibrated. We'll stop doing what we are doing, we'll start new things, we'll do less, we'll do more, stuff like that. So Africa doesn't suffer from the lack of talent, it suffers from the band with lack. And it's also suffering from lack of strategy. So my 4 lenses for strategic investment decisions for HR. Okay? I again repeat, the presentations are yours, you just ask me on the LinkedIn. The purpose. People begin with purpose. Be a purpose-driven HR. The best way to do a job description in your company is to ask one question. What if this job does not exist? Not the person. Not the person. What if this job doesn't exist? What will happen? Once you start clarifying, if the job of CEO doesn't exist, I ask myself, the decisions would not be taken, people would be orphaned, companies' assets would be this. So that highlights indirectly the benefit of that job. And if the answers are flimsy, fluff, slop, then remove that position. Are we together? Fine? All right. So the first is purpose. What workforce problem are we solving? Don't go to IT just because of fanciness. What workforce problem are we going to solve? All right. Just because everybody is on ChatGPT, I should be on ChatGPT. No. What am I trying to solve? Impact. How will this change jobs, skills, and most important, experience? Okay. Third, The governance. Is the data ethics government strong and governance strong enough? You know, now AI charter for AU, I studied that document, requires the infrastructure, the data, the cloud, the storage within Africa, which is sovereignty. Otherwise, tomorrow, Mr. Trump would say something, okay, and say, I cut you off. Are you together? Zoho in India has come out, and Indian government has moved away from Microsoft, and it's moving to Zoho, and homemade email ecosystem. Are you getting it? So Africa needs to have that. And the best thing about Africa is we don't have to climb the small stairs and go up to the 10th floor. In the IT economy, late entrant is a better, because we learn from the mistakes of others. And leapfrog, my lady said, and leapfrog directly to 10. There was a beautiful, in 1995 in Mumbai, there used to be hoarding, okay? And there was a beautiful hoarding of a magazine for female called Femina. Why many, and for 2 days they played this, why many ladies do not climb the corporate ladder for 2 days, okay? Why ladies do not climb the corporate ladder? And after 2 days they came out, because they take escalators. Are you together? And that's what is my dream. I spoke the same thing at the African Women Conference 23. One of my works I do is, I want to see the women, that 49% of them having a 60% of share everywhere. Okay, so that is, and the last but not least, trust. Do we trust our legacy system? Do we trust AI decisions for recruitment? Are we trusting it? If there are 2,000 CVs and if 10 are given to you, do we trust it? Is it embedded in African nuances, our tribalism, our culture, our language? Are we together? Is it embedding that? And we need to have trust. Okay? Purpose, never let AI project. We got this cool app and let's use it. Never start there. Just because I have a Mercedes, I don't have to drive around. I need to be there somewhere for transport, then I have to use. Correct? So, surgery successful and patient died. Okay, that's Behaves quotes. I'm called Behaves on social media. Don't just buy a tool for the heck of it. And my slide matches your dress. Shamim. Okay? So, don't just buy the tool, be purpose oriented. Okay? Otherwise, surgery successful and patient died. We followed all the processes, but boom, patient died. Impact on job skill. If your AI budget has no line for change management and learning, it is not a tech, but it is just a tech budget. It is also a budget for failure. Okay? If there is no line for change management, if there is no line item in a budget, line item means there should be a provision of resource and money. All right? And it is a future regret investment. So HR would come as a conscious keeper. You're taking a big move to go into automation. Where is the change management budget? How have you considered resistance, enrollment, willingness, shift, pivot in your strategy? Are we together? Okay. Data ethics governance, I already told you, it should be embedded within African local context. Do you think Africa is one? Africa has beautiful 54 countries. There are Anglophone, Francophone, socialist, entrepreneur. They are football loving, they are basketball loving, they are music loving. Are you understanding? Within Africa, there's so much. Okay, so please understand, when it comes to HR, we go bottom up. Are we together? We go bottom up. The people at the unit level matter. If trust is not a KPI, okay, it must be an operating system of HR. Trust. If people don't trust your system, if they feel that IT or AI is surveillance tool and not a savior, you will never win the game. Not a surveillance tool who monitors you, but a savior who saves your time. Are we together? Does it make sense? All right? If it is talent acquisition, we need to define upfront what are the hidden biases. Okay? While humans have biases, my friend. Human have biases, AI also hallucinates, AI also has bias. Today, any CV could be made reverse engineering, but that doesn't mean that CV or the person. Now the biggest problem is not the role person fit. The biggest problem now is CV person fit. People have forgotten who they are. By the way, Sweden or some other country has enacted an act now that no AI can use your, every human being is a IP holder of his, her face, voice, and other things, so that AI cannot copy. Tomorrow my video can be done by AI and circulated. So I can register. Most of the film stars are registering their IP. So nobody can make the cartoons. Are you together? All right? Learning, please understand, learning means customized. End purpose is same. Use AI to deliver learning in the way learner, she wants it. Okay? All right? Data tells you what is happening, but HR tells you why you should care. HR is a conscious keeper. Okay, it's a beautiful bridge. Why you should care about data security. The lady before me spoke about it. Why you should care about moving to digital recruitment. All those things are to be taken care of. Governance roadmap, we should have experimentation, we should have integration, and we should have scale ecosystem. Let me work on it. Can we play the second video, please? Angelica. Let's play the second video. I'm purposefully nudging your curiosity.
Accompagné par vrai. Où est ton papa? Dis-moi où est ton papa?
Governance. Bugatti is Italian, it's global, but we need an African Bugatti. Embedded in our own natural resources with our own people. The FIFA team had African people, or French, isn't it? We want the same dance, sway, beautiful African thing into every AI as it touches and feels the organization and the people. Are we together? All right, can we play the last video? I come back here. The last video. It's file starting with 3. You will tell me 11 minutes before I have to stop. Okay?
By 2030, almost 80% of people had lost their jobs.
They had no money, no purpose, but they had a lot of time on their hands.
The less people actually did physical work, the more they wanted to appear as if they did.
What if we could use the energy of humans to power the machines that took away their jobs?
Solved our need for energy and your need for purpose.
Are we together?
By 2030, almost 80%.
Okay, stop. Everything will be done by machines. We'll have nothing to do. Okay? If nothing to do, what do we do? Because these machines and AI requires huge amount of energy. That is electricity. And where will that come from? Please note, data centers, computing centers, these platforms for augmented AI, generative AI require huge energy, so where will it come from? In fact, Mr. Elon Musk is planning to generate energy, Japan is planning to generate energy in the space. I think one of the Scandinavian countries have learned how to transmit energies through air without wires. Are you looking at what kind of changes we are having? Okay? So maybe we'll have one tablet to eat and for 10 days we'll be fine. We don't know what will happen. Okay? So welcome back to Africa. Let's do pilots with external partners with the clear stop fix criteria. What problem we are setting? You do a pilot, You give a proof of concept, POC, my IT guys will understand, and then we deploy. Not just on promises, on performance, delivered. All right? Embed in core workflow. Do not keep, please note, we all feel we are AI driven. Today it's fancy to put it on Instagram and on your LinkedIn page. The company has AI driven. The CEO says, and somebody asks, what have you done? 6,000 of our employees are on Copilot. My dear, you are AI subscribed, not AI driven. You just increased your cost and it's a fancy PR, public relations. Just by hiring a Copilot or subscribing to Copilot, you have just accessorized. What is the change that has happened? You know what is today's problem? There's something called value stream map. Where is value created? How is the value allocated? And how is the value captured? What is happening now? Employees can do a draft which was done in 3 hours in 5 minutes with ChatGPT, correct? But the time saved, 2 hours and 55 minutes, is gone watching Instagram Reels. So how do I capture this? How do I capture this time and put it in a fruitful use? And then, when you ask them a nuance detailed on para 3 of page 2, the employee says, wait. Are you getting it? So we're making dumb people. Do you know that in Hollywood now, I'm going to tell you this, very important. In Hollywood now, watch my last TV interview on Spice FM, I explained. In Hollywood, the directors are told, note, please make content, series, episodes, movies, less involving and less intense. I repeat, what are they told? Please make the programs such that they are used as second scrolling. That means somebody is already doing some work but watching it. So no need for going into detail. So my whole life I have been a vaguely right and not precisely wrong person. What I do is, I don't have to know the details. If he was murdered or she was murdered in a movie, I don't have to go to details. 80s and 90s, I'm 52 years young. In 90s, if I watched a movie for 3 days, I would think about it. How the plot unfolded, right? Now, within next day, we forget everything because there's too much supply. Are you getting it? Information has exploded, but curiosity and reflection has imploded. It has stopped. Are we together? So the investment charter is HR and IT becomes from observers to co-architects. All right? I will treat AI as a workforce strategy topic and claim my seat. How many of you would do that as HR tomorrow? Are you ready? Either you are pregnant or you're not pregnant. Nothing like half pregnant. Are you ready? All right. 1 out of, proud of you. Can we all clap for her? What's your name? Huh? Martha. I always say that I would love to be an optimist and fail rather to be a pessimist and pass. Martha, it's good to stake. And I am questioning the rest of you. I'd rather be an optimist and partially fail rather than being a pessimist and partially pass. From cost to capability, remember C to C. Forget cost, our decisions are always driven by cost. Let's look at capability. How we augment our capability to absorb AI into the mainstream workflow, not keep them in the accessories. Okay? I'm going to say this later on, but I'll say that HR, IT and automation and AI is not about cutting, shaving your beard to reduce your weight. It's not a trimming fat. It is a muscle for marathon. Are we together? You have to build those muscles memories. I call it muscle. You have to have that memories that will last. When you close your eye and you eat, your morsel still goes in your mouth, right? It's called subconscious act, isn't it? You still breathe, right? Muscle memory. That's what we have to bring. From pilots to responsible scaling. That's what we need. Not only pilot. People are just rewarding themselves. Wow, I did a pilot. Pilot is bullshit. Okay? It's nothing. It's like a trailer, screensaver. The real stuff, the real fruit is inside. The final word. In an era of intelligent technology, The most strategic investment is a smart, delivering, conscious IT and HR department. All right? That is what it is. I have used insights from McKinsey, AU 2060, and African best practices. Okay? The last but the least. What is RONI? RONI. Whenever you make a proposal, listen, I have groomed, you know, she told those words, GPHR, SPHR, SCP. These are certifications I have. Globally, there won't be more than 2,000 people who would have all the three. And I have them from 2010. Okay, in HR. One thing about HR's credibility is, if you make a proposal for anything, make it so compelling that the CEO shits rocks before rejecting it. Okay? Are you getting it? And how can you make it compelling? At the end, what? The most important component of investment is two things, time and trust. Sometimes we just check money. We want to embed whatever we do in the workflow. It should be changing our experience. You know, AI actually performing. Are we together? Are we together? Devji in the stadium is sitting. Have a compelling proposal. Come out with a statement. Risk of not doing it. Slide was only 3 times I told them Africanize and make it Zanzibar. Can you go back to my slides construct? I said make it Zanzibar version. Okay? The texture and all. So I was so nervous preparing for this, and she motivated me. Okay? Can we go back to this couple of slides, my dear? Go back to the slides. All right? So any questions? Okay, go back, not to the video, slides. So, customer-centric and experience of employee. All right? My mantra in life about people is only one. People support what they help create. Don't thrust things down to people. Okay? Enroll them in your journey. Without people, there is no strategy investment. All right? Okay, I'm open. You can't flip through the slides. Angelica, you can't flip through the slides. Go back. Okay, I can. Okay. Were you able to connect, any of you, using barcode? You could. Okay, fine. Thank you. So I think I will stop here. So all these slides are Africanized. Demonstrating one thing. What is more important? Okay? See what I'm doing. I threw and he caught. What is more important? What is more important? I understand, but still, if you have to choose only one. Can we clap for him, please? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Catching is important. There are policies thrown to people. They're top down. No, it should rather come. Make them want to ask what you want to give is the magic of leadership. Okay? Catching it. So there's a beautiful, just because you are pursuing, it doesn't mean you are catching. And just because you are catching, it doesn't mean that you are not pursued. Are you getting my point? So please, please, please embed the end purpose. P. While I want to end my talk, and I'm ready for question, the H in HR is under threat. Okay? Thank you.
So I'll be the first question asked over to you right now. In your presentation, there was a point came up, you identified the chronic problem that I'm going to write down a letter. Before that I served 3 hours, now I serve only 5 minutes and do the letter, and now rest of the time, what I am doing, I am using social media. And when my supervisor asks me, I have done my job. My work is done. So please advise 3 activities to use our time productively, and we can even learn ourselves and progress, be part of the progress of that organization.
Can we clap for him? You know, he raises the game. Thank you, Doctor. LBDB. Looking busy and doing bullshit. Employees have learned the art of doing this. Okay? They look busy, they do bullshit. 5 minutes work is delegated to AI, and the rest of the time they act very fast. You know how to bullshit everybody? Walk fast in your office. Okay? Walk with the phone. Okay? And say, hey, hello, how are you? Okay, I'm meeting you. And what are you doing? LBDB. Okay? You're walking on a treadmill, reaching nowhere. So people have mastered this art. One of the things to solve, what I have done is, I come out with a concept of team learning and making our organization as a learning organization. At any point in time, we have 3 programs for everybody to learn. Okay? And we tell them, you embed in your routine, it's self-paced learning. It is self-paced learning. And there are rewards and promotions linked to those learning. They are purposeful learning and keep them busy. You know, have you seen a child minus 4 years? All of you? They are so happy because they are learning. They're always learning, from toddling to walking to eating to everything. Are you understanding? They're the happiest. Learn from the nature. So one of the defense mechanisms to do this is supply meaningful learning. But again, I'm telling you, whatever comes cheap is not accepted. I would always say, here's an option, an opt-in. Here's a training program. You can subscribe and apply, and we may approve. But if you apply, it says you will do this in this many time. After doing this, for 3 months you will not leave a job. After doing this, you should have participated in this project of change management. So if you agree in the whole protocol, you apply and we give you. Are you getting into it? I give loans for education, but I clearly tell. I give fees for education, MBA, but I clearly say, I'm giving you loan now and a letter that if you are in job after 6 months, then that money would be a one-time reward. So I am giving you cash flow now, but if you leave the job, because my company should not lose it, isn't it? Are you getting it? So one of the things is this, the vacuum time. The second thing is give time off. You know, people in office, if the time has shrunk to work, give time off, partially, and make them accountable. Okay. Third thing is load the job. A rubber band. You know a rubber band or a hair band people use? You know what is the quality of the rubber band? Elasticity. But when does it work? If the rubber band is bigger than my hand's diameter or circumstances, it won't work, right? So rubber band works only when it's stretched. Are you together? But if it's stretched too much, it tears down. So have that U stress, not D stress. Positive stress. Okay, always keep that. All right, and never, what takes one person to do 1 hour would take 2% to do 2 hours each. Okay? Work expands to the time available. So know that principle. Okay? All right? The same AI which enables can also supervise and surveil. So I hope I'm trying to answer. Anybody else has any question, or I stop? Asante. Okay, sorry.
Okay, thank you. You use the metaphor of surgery successful, patient die. Are you saying that all these projects we are going to invest in, like AI in our HR and all this, if you are not very careful, maybe the project may take off but may not survive? That's what you're implying?
I'm very much telling that. You know, people defend themselves. CEO has given a big statement, we invested $300,000 in this system, and then they slap their face and make it look red. We think it's pink. No, it's slap pink. Are you getting it? Because they don't, once they have put in the money, where is the real benefit of any IT delivered? Check. You know, even training, globally, the training industry, 1/3 of the training industry delivers the purpose. Rest is tourism. Rest is vouchers and cost. 1/3 of the training only are effective. So I am telling you, rarely there is what was expected, timeline, cost and benefit. versus what is realized timeline, cost and benefit. 1/3 deliver, 2/3 is bullshit. 1/3 is absolutely bullshit and 1/3 is shade of grey. I mean, leaders, do you resonate? But because we don't want to ask critical questions like removing the chair over there, okay? Okay, because it questions us. Okay? Please wake up and do not disagree with your mirror image. If Bhavesh, he told me, I have put on 10 kgs in last 1 year, right? It's correct. I have to first admit I have put on weight, then only I'll have awareness to action. Sir, are we together? Okay. One thing about me is I'll never answer fully. Okay? You will always be left with trigger. You know when learning happens? Learning happens in the space between question and answer. The moment answer comes, learning stops. Are we together? Okay?
A better round of applause for Mr. Bhavesh. Bhavesh is a force in the tech and investment, especially in HR matters. And I hope you have enjoyed the session. So we want to quickly go into a panel discussion, and then we will receive mgeni wetu wa heshima kwa ajili ya kufunga mkutano. Did I get that right? Okay. All right. So we want to have a panel discussion on how we can build business growth with the digital and taking advantage of the digital tools. And I would like to invite back on stage Madam Mercy Omolo. You can come on stage. Let's appreciate Mercy as she comes up on stage. Tumpigie Mercy makofi. And of course, Bhavesh, if you can join us on stage. Tumpigie wote makofi jameni. Hey! Wewe nikikupa microphone hata unaniangalia vibaya. Na nikikwambia upigie wengine makofi. All right. And then we have a lovely lady who is representing the DG. Her name is Awena Mohammed from Zik TIA, who is representing the DG. All right, she's right here. Let's appreciate her as she comes up on stage. Right. Yes, please. I also need a chair. And Bhavesh, where is Bhavesh? Okay. Yeah, so we are going to wait for Bhavesh. No, we can't stand. You have to come. So just let me hear from you. What is your takeaway from these 3 days? Umesoma nini kwenye siku 3 ambazo tumekuwa hapa? What is the one thing that has stood out for you? Wacha nianze na wewe.
Asante sana, naitwa Saidi. Ambacho nimejifunza siku 3 hizi ni moja, namna AI kama HR zinavyohitajika katika kuendesha shughuli zetu za kila siku, lakini pia ufanisi katika kazi, mambo mengine kama hayo. Lakini kitu kingine ni namna ya digital transformation, na kwamba kuna kila namna ya HRs pamoja na IT na organization zetu kuhakikisha kwamba tunajifunza hasa teknolojia ili kuhama kwenye paperwork, lakini na kuendana na namna ulimwengu unavyotaka. Lakini kitu kingine ni muhimu wa leadership katika kufacilitate hizi digital transformation lakini pia ku-upgrade shughuli zetu za kila siku. Jingine ni mambo ya cyber crime na cyber security, kuona kwamba kutokana na speed ya kukua kwa teknolojia na mambo ambayo yanaathiri security ya data, basi pia tuna umuhimu kama taasisi au wataalamu kujipanga na hilo ili kuhakikisha kwamba kunakuwa na confidential ya data, hasa zile personal pamoja na confidential data za taasisi zetu, ili kutokuhatarisha mambo muhimu ya watumishi lakini pamoja na taasisi zetu kutokana na hackers na mambo mengine kama haya. Asante.
All right, thank you very much. Maybe we can be upstanding as we receive our CS. Just kwa heshima zake anapoingia. Asante sana. Thank you for making the time to be here. We appreciate. Asante. You can take your seats. I need microphones. Project for the panel. All right. So we can quickly just jump onto the conversation for today. And Mercy, you have the microphone, so it is only safe that we start off with you. And my question to you is, how do we ensure that all this conversation we are having is driving business goals rather than technology trends, and who should lead the agenda? Because everything right now, I mean, everyone here wants an iPhone 17. We also want a touchscreen laptop that speaks to you. You know, sometimes I see my children say, Google, find me this and this. It's become a trend. But in the workplace, who should own this agenda, and how do we make sure it's part of business and not a trend?
I think the AI agenda should be owned by the CEO. Him or her being the topmost business leader is able to ensure that you're driving business goals as opposed to the technology trends. And in that I mean that most of the time, right now, we are in the era where it's a buzzword. And people or organizations are implementing tools, not because you want to solve a solution, but because your peers are doing it. Your peers are using AI. So you also think you have to use AI. So vendors will come, will sell you the solution. You need this tool because of such and such. But if you're not solving a solution, then you have no business going into AI. You have to be solving a task, or you have to be solving a problem in your day-to-day business operations. Then you can say, okay, I can use AI, or I will use automation to be able to leverage this. And so the CEO should drive the agenda, or should be the sponsor of AI tools or the AI strategy. But of course, the IT leaders are the ones who will probably drive it because they are more well-versed with the tools, the techniques. But it's a business decision. It's a business thing that should be owned by everybody in senior management and not just one person. So the best way is to probably have an AI council or an AI committee that has representation from all stakeholders, including HR, so that you drive the people element as well.
All right. So unatuambia kuwa hii mambo ya AI tusiachie IT.
Exactly.
Tusikuwa tunasema tu hii ni mambo ya IT, sisi kama HR tutulie.
Exactly, because you see, another thing is when we're coming to implement those solutions, or you're trying to get your buy-in, people will come always say, but this is an AI, this is an IT tool. You guys are the nyinyi ndo muli tuambia tufanye hii, we didn't ask for it. But if you involve everybody from the get-go, then it's something that's owned, it becomes a solution that's owned by everybody.
Right, right. So wale wenye wako kwa room kama watu wa HR, msiseme ati hivi vifaa vya whatever unde. What unde? Akili unde. Sio vifaa vya IT, ni vifaa vyetu sisi wote, na kama viongozi kila mtu anafaa ku lead your agenda. All right, and Bhavesh, you know sometimes tukiangalia kuhusu akili unde, kila mtu anafikiria ni mambo ya kukata cost ama vile kuendeleza efficiency. But is it really a cost cutting element, or does it really drive efficiency, innovation, and is it really a revenue generation? Because wakati wote tunapofanya kazi, we need to have the bottom line. Hata kwa serikali tunauliza, are we serving our citizens better? So these AI tools, are they helping organizations? Are they really a cost-cutting tool?
Hi, thank you. Hamjambo. I have forgotten Swahili because from Tanzania I went to Kenya, Rwanda, and I learned Muraho. From there I went to Ethiopia where I learned Amharic. So hivi. So samahani. Okay. Listen, AI is not an optional. In Ngorongoro, if you are there, you and I are running, and if a lion is behind you, do I have to run faster than the lion, or I have to run faster than you? I have to run faster than you so lion eats you, not run faster than lion. Are you understanding? In this race of AI automation, please understand, we cannot deliver the expectations of the people, especially the government, at the rate of yesterday's solution for tomorrow's aspiration. We want investment in Zanzibar. I just told her, I am founding my company in Zanzibar, okay, or Tanzania. So if we want investment to come in from the people who are used to having those touch points delivered, so please, first step, from PowerPoint to touch point. From promise to performance delivered. What is the experience you are giving? In the beginning, AI will be like hockey stick. It will create chaos and things will go worse because we are in the change management crisis. After that, we will have cost efficiencies coming in and we have to measure it. But the real AI would come when we invent our new Ngorongoro. When you invent an IIT Madras coming in Zanzibar. You know, IIT Madras is one of the best IT education institutes in India. They have come, already operated in Zanzibar. When you have mini Bollywood coming to Zanzibar, okay? So when we solve problems, today Brella, TIC experiences are good. Kenyan experience. Rwanda is delivering, Rwanda is using, what do we call that fly? Drone hackathon. For last 4 or 5 years, there is a drone hackathon, the world's best drones guy. And they were delivering pregnant ladies nutritions to their home. Are we solving a problem of logistics? Africa is so big. Africa is so big. So how do we solve these problems? Now, I have a fierce objection, and allow me to object. Everywhere people do not need to be consulted. Idea is sometimes you decide and then enroll them and dilute the resistance. So when we innovate new solutions using AI, which is mass, there is a fundamental change that happened last 15 days in AI world. Anybody can say what it was? Indian government came out with an AI symposium week and they launched sovereign Indian apps embedded in Indian culture, embedded in Indian systems, and they came out to deliver better governance to citizens. Now that is where in Africa, like the lady says, we have a last entrant advantage. From here we will leap from here. And once we start adopting sovereign African AI. And where you come from, Kenya, is hotbed of
No, gig economy. 2 million Kenyans out of 57 million Kenyans are in gig economy. Are you getting it? So we are already achieving. So cost will be the first one, incurring cost. Second would be recovering cost. Third is cost saving, and the final would be revenue generation or innovation. It will go. Many will die abortion, please understand. But we keep trying.
You're right. Right. So we need to swim in the ocean, in the chaos right now. Tuogelee kwenye Awina, we are going to come back to you and tell us 3 things we can do to manage change. So you can think about it. And Mercy, we are coming to you with telling us the world is changing. We are told that our jobs will go, but how do we secure our jobs? And to you, Madam, we have been discussing a lot of digital issues for the last couple of days. But my question to you is the biggest barrier to this transformation, transformation in technology, is it leadership or is it the technology itself? What are your comments?
Thank you for the good question first. From my view, digital transformation is about change and it's not about technology. Many organizations, adopt new tools, but they fail to change the process. They fail to change the culture. They also fail to change the strategy itself. Without leadership, vision, and commitment, digital initiatives will remain as isolated projects. So technology alone does not transform business, but people and strategy do transform the business. With this, we say because the leadership has power in many areas. For example, leadership is the one who defines strategies and priorities of the organization. So the digital vision of any organization, depending on the strategy and priorities of the leader of that organization, that's where he can align or she can align the business goals with IT. But also, they are the one who allocate resources. Technology initiatives need a lot of money. So if you don't have budgets that is enough to do the digital initiatives, it's also going to be very difficult to do the transformation. Not only that, but also those key performance indicators and the success criteria of digital transformation also are set by leaders themselves. So without active leadership, transformation will lack direction and also will lack focus. Not only that, but also without change management, it's very difficult. And we know the leaders are the one who drive culture change. We have to know that the technology is agility. It keeps on change now and then. So it also needs data decision making. Also, digital transformation require collaboration, maybe between private and government sectors. Also, it needs openness and automation. So it is typically influence of leadership to the mindset of this transformation, digital transformation. It's very important, whereby technology itself cannot achieve. The biggest barrier to digital technology, I will insist, is not technology itself, but it will start with leadership. While technology enables change, they define vision, they define strategy, but they also define the talent development. That's what I can say.
Interesting. So we need to give AI direction, yes, and that can only come from the leadership. Excellent. So we are coming back to you with what is the return on investment as we go here. So Bhavesh, 3 things on change management.
Forget change. We don't have time for change. Change was in 2010. Now it's disruption. Okay? Please note, we will be swept away. All right? So how do you make agile organizations, agile people, agile Africa? Agile Africa is a cheetah of Africa with the strength of elephant. Are we together? And it also flies. there are ways to embed flexibility and fluidity, okay? We need to embed practices in organization at individual level, at social level, and at structural level. We have to embed in organization and in Africa readiness to change by moving people from their comfort zone to their courage zone to their growth zone, by expanding the boundaries. I already told you how the rubber band works, by stretching. Everybody in their weekly on a daily should have a zone of experimentation. Let's say we can embed that every day, 20 minutes before lunch, we will have experimentation zone where you learn something new which you have not done before. Embed that in your systems. We do it for our children, do it for our employees. Within our organization structures, which is hierarchical, have task force teams which do work on innovations. They experiment, and where failure is celebrated only if lessons learned are internalized. Don't make the same mistake twice. So in Agile Africa, I dream of robust structure, correct? But there are structures, task force, such seminars, experimentations, call out for the time. Don't criticize. Around 3 years back, first time when I sent an email using AI, one of my old persons says, but you have used AI. I was criticized for using AI. 3 years back. So those people who change things would be criticized. And the last mantra of change is, please remember, people support what they help create. Enroll them. And the change is not about leader only. If it is 80% about leader, it is 20% about the first followers. When the first section of followers enroll to your change, it's no more a leadership role. People would follow, because people trust people more than the leader. Okay? So once leader creates the early starters, the catalyst, and transforms them to their agenda, to the transformation agenda, that first followers become catalyst in an organization, in a country, in a government, in a company, in a family. So ride on the early adapters and deal with early negative people. So it's an attack strategy and it's a defense strategy. You have to do all it takes to drive change. Read a book called The Influencer by Vital Starts. How Africa removed guinea worm from Africa. Guinea worm was a disease. Guinea worm would go inside your body and it will come out from anywhere. And once you go inside your body, you feel like going to water. Once you go to water, it will lay eggs and it will contaminate the water. And it was eradicated in whole of Africa by following personal, social, that is team, and structural changes at skill level and at will level. People don't know what to do, teach them. Will, people are not motivated, motivate them. So skill, will, so these kind of changes can happen. I am a confirmed optimist about Africa. 10 years from now, Africa would rise, shine, and achieve where it deserves. Disruption, no more change. Makes sense.
Yes, I like the idea of moving from change to disruption because then it makes a lot of sense. Mercy, our jobs at risk.
Yes and no. I think what HR professionals need to do in this era of AI is to look at jobs move away from job planning and move to role planning to skills-based planning. So, and by that I mean you need to do 3 things for all the roles that you have in your organization. You need to understand which roles are repetitive and can be done by machines, which roles can be redefined or re-augmented, and we can use AI alongside those particular roles. And then for the roles that are repetitive and can be automated, how can we redeploy those particular people to work in other sectors within the organization? And I'll give you an example for what we're doing in our company at Isuzu. So there's a system called SAP. I think many of you are familiar with it. We're moving to SAP HANA, which is a higher spec system than the normal current SAP. And we've already mapped that there are things that are being done manually right now. And there are certain roles, especially for accounts payable, that we used to do manually and are totally going to become automated, and will basically mean that the people who used to do that work basically don't have any roles to play. That doesn't mean that we are going to necessarily fire them. We've identified, or we've mapped out, okay, these tasks have become automated. How can we redeploy these other people to go and work in other areas where we need support, whether it's a totally different function, maybe moving some of them to sales, or moving some of them to other finance functions that necessarily mean. So it may replace routine automative tasks that makes it more efficient. So the company, the accounts process becomes more efficient, more faster. Our customers become happier. But also our own employees are redeployed elsewhere, and we ensure that we also manage that process well. So yes, it will replace some jobs, but it doesn't necessarily mean that everything is lost at the end of the day.
All right, thank you very much. And finally to you, Awena, what is the ROI of digital investment or AI?
Thank you once again. Return on investment is something you need to gain after investing in AI digital tools or platform within your organization. And people are still confusing if there is tangible and intangible. Maybe they only want to see the revenue growth by using AI, but it's not true. When you want to see the return of investment in your organization, first of all, before using AI, I think you really need to define, or you really need to know what you want to achieve in your organization when using AI, by setting clear goals and clear objectives. You know, AI initiatives maybe deliver the following. It can reduce operation costs, it can increase revenue, it can improve customer experience, it can enhance decision making, also it can reduce risk or errors, and there are others benefits, you name it. But having clear objectives allow you to define measurable outcomes. For example, when we see the tangible benefits of return of investment when you invest in artificial intelligence, first cost reduction, and this we get through labor saving and reducing errors, but also increase revenue. You know, we can use it by retaining the customer or customer retention, but we can also use it by upselling. We can also reduce the downtime. You know, AI can, as mentioned before, can use to predict predictive maintenance. You can predict things before coming by using data, but also you can faster processing a task that is now optimization. So how are we going to measure the intangible now? Most of the time people see this speed. You can increase the speed, you can increase data accuracy, but you can also make better decisions. But these metrics, you can take them and monetize the improvement, and you can really see the revenue or return of investment through this intangible also. Return of investment, I think it has to be time horizon. Like Mr. here said, the revenue growth is the last part that you can see. So AI benefits, you can have this like task automation, strategic insight or competitive advantage, accurate over time, but eventually you will see that revenue growth after passing through series of processes, and then you will reach that return of investment. So it's not like when you automate, when you use AI in your organization, it's just like overnight and you will get revenue. Not really. You really need to take some steps before realizing the revenue itself. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mercy, one-liner, quotable quotes. We end this panel.
The most famous one. AI will not replace your jobs. but the person who uses, or the person who learns to use AI will replace your job, because they have a skill themselves and they'll be able to use, they're using it to their advantage. So most likely the company will retain that person over you who has not taken the time to invest in AI.
All right, thank you very much. Bhavesh, your quote abukut.
Okay, AI is not a fat-cutting tool. It is to build your muscle for marathon. So use AI in your personal life, in your
is equals to? Yes, so we cannot do AI without the human interaction. So thank you very much. Let's appreciate our panelists as we stand here to take a photo together. And I can get the packages for the speakers. All right, can I get the packages for the speakers? Who's going to hand them? You. Oh, Dennis. Okay. Eh?
Can we all clap for Dennis?
All right.
Can we all clap for Dennis? He's been working a lot for this conference.
Mwenyekiti, naomba uje hand over. Masi, you can go down and Mwenyekiti will hand over your... Unajua tunasema kwa Kiafrika ukitembea mahali urudi mkono tupu. So, ama wanasema nini? Mkono mtupu? Bas. So thank you so much. Let's appreciate Masi. Tumpigie Masi makofi jameni. All right. Thank you so much. Let's have Bhavesh. Yes, you are. Let's appreciate Bhavesh. Tumpigie Bhavesh makofi tafadhali. Thank you so much. And then we have Awena Mohammed. Thank you so much for preparing. Asante sana. Let's appreciate Awena Mohammed for an amazing job done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the team, you can take your seats. The panelists, you can take your seats. Bhavesh and Masi, get out of my stage. All right. So thank you very much. I hope you have learned and that you have enjoyed the sessions. And now tunaenda kwa kipindi cha Lala Salama. Kwa majina naitwa Grace Nzula. I was your host and I have really, really enjoyed myself and hope you have. See you in August as we do the East Africa Human Resource Summit. Asanteni sana, and back to you, Dennis.
Thank you so much, Grace. Asante sana. Natumai everyone tumepata what we deserve. It's all about driving business growth in AI. Na aim ya kujifunza about AI in business is about revolution, the impact result on the production, automation, technology to support the process within the organization. But kikubwa is sustainability for the governance. We work, we operate, we make decision, we guide the policy, and we manage the process. Napenda kuchukua fursa hii kutambulisha ugeni uliokuwepo. The all protocol should be observed. Ndani humu tuna Chief Secretary of Zanzibar Revolution Government, Ambassador Engineer Zena Saidi, lakini pia tuna Bi Fatma Mabruk Kasim Hamis, Principal Secretary, Minister of Communication and Information Technology and Innovation, lakini pia yupo na mwenyeji wao Chairperson Christopher Kabarika Mwansaso. We have a time to discussing about AI, about technology, all about workforce automation. Natumai tumepata impact, tumegain momentum. So tukiwa tunaenda mwisho, ili tulinde itifaki yetu. Tuna mengi na zuri kutoka kwa mgeni. Naomba nikaribishe Christopher Kabalika Mwansasu. Naomba nikukabilishe Christopher Kabalika Mwansasu, mwenyekiti wa THRAPA on stage. Tumpigie makofi.
Ndugu mgeni rasmi, Mheshimiwa Injinia Balozi Zena, kiongozi wetu kipenzi, Katibu Mkuu dadangu kipenzi Fatma, viongozi wote na washiriki wote mlioko kwenye ukumbi huu, asalamu alaykum. Mimi nimekuja mbele yenu, moja, kushukuru mkutano wetu ulipokwenda, lakini pili, kuonyesha njia sasa tunakoelekea, kwamba sasa tunaenda kwenye kufunga mkutano wetu. Na wakati tunakwenda kufunga mkutano wetu, tunayo machache ya kuzungumza, ambayo mgeni rasmi wetu atakayetufungia ndiye atakayetupa chakula cha wakati huu wa mchana kabla hatujaenda Ijumaa, maana naona tumechelewa kidogo. Lakini mimi kwanza nishukuru ndugu mgeni rasmi. Tulikuwa na discussion ndani ya siku hizi mbili. Siku ya kwanza ilikuwa ni ratiba ya ufunguzi. Summit yetu ilifunguliwa na Mheshimiwa Waziri ambaye alionyesha dira na njia ya namna ambavyo tunaelekea. Lakini siku ya pili ilikuwa ni siku ya discussion panel, lakini pia kulikuwa na presentation mbalimbali. Watu wengi wameongea, lakini katika topic ambazo zimeongelewa zilikuwa interested. Kulikuwa na topic ya labor market in the digital era ambazo watu waliendelea kufurahia, lakini kulikuwa na opportunities and disruptions ambazo zinaweza zikatokea kwenye modern workforce place. Tukaendelea kupata innovation, ethical recruitment with digital momentum. Lakini kulikuwa na dadangu mmoja aliongelea kwenye cyber security in the era of quantum computing in the hybrid workplace. Kwa hiyo tumepata mengi na naamini washiriki wetu wameendelea kunufaika. Lakini tukasema kwa sababu sisi ni HR, lazima tuwe na topic ambazo zinatugusa. Tukawa na the law of leadership and driving organization transformation, ambako ndiko digital transformation imeendelea kugusa mazingira mengi. Ndugu mgeni rasmi, mimi kama mwenyekiti naendelea kushukuru namna ambavyo ushirikiano wako wewe na ofisi yako umekuwa mkubwa. Tupelekee salamu kwa Mheshimiwa Rais. Tumepata taarifa yake ya kukubali kuwa mgeni rasmi kwenye mkutano wetu, lakini alipata dharura ya kazi zingine akaenda kufanya kazi nyingine. Lakini pili, nichukue nafasi hii kumshukuru Katibu Mkuu Wizara ya Mawasiliano. Kwa kweli da Fatma unaopiga mwingi sana. Asante sana. Hii wizara imekuwa na sisi tangu mwanzo bega kwa bega, na wamekuwa ni watu ambao wanatamani tuendelee kufika mbali. Sisi tunaahidi kama THRAPA tutakuwa na nyinyi moja kwa moja katika kutekeleza yale ambayo sisi tunayaona yaendelee kuwafikia. Unajua, ukiwekeza kwenye human resource, maana yake umewekeza kwenye entire organization. Sisi tuko tayari kuendelea kusaini MOU za kufanya kazi na wizara, lakini pili, Katibu Mkuu, tuko tayari sisi popote unapoona panafaa sisi tunaingia. Lakini katika kufanikisha hili tumeshirikiana na wenzetu kutoka taasisi mbalimbali. Sasa hapa kidogo sikupenda mgeni rasmi kuzungumza Kiingereza, lakini labda na wenyewe waweze kunisikia. We have partnership from SAPAM, South Africa, now presented by Professor Shai, who has been with us for a long time. Professor Shai, he is our mentor, he is our guru. He has been with us since we are starting a setup of THRAPA. Now we are enjoying, we are glowing, it's because of the support from SAPAM. Thank you very much, President of SAPAM, for coming and for being us for the all time. Lakini pia, we have World Employment Confederation, presented by Miss Mina. I think she left back, lakini wamekuwa na sisi sana. Wao kwenye hili shirikisho la ajira duniani wamekuwa ni washawishi na kutufanya sisi tuwe member. Na nichukue nafasi hii kuwatangazia wote kwamba sisi sasa ni member halali wa World Employment Confederation. Katika program tunazofanya tuko na wao wakati wote. Lakini pia tuko na ndugu zetu kutoka Kenya, waliwakilishwa na CEO wa Institute of HR Association ya Kenya, Madam Kulash. Madam Kulash naye ameondoka, lakini alikuwepo. Lakini yuko Grace, hebu simama, maana nilikuwa na ujumbe kutoka kwa katibu mkuu kiongozi. Amesema umefanya kikubwa hapa, mbona begi yako atukupi? Kwa nikasema huyu ni mwenzetu katika kuorganize, yeye zawadi zake ni kubwa, hazipimiki, hatuwezi kuzifika, lakini tutakuwa naye bega kwa bega katika kushirikiana. Lakini Kenya nadhani wamekuja watu 5 ambao wamewakilishwa na viongozi wao hao kwa ajili ya ushirikiano ambao tunaendelea nao. Lakini pia tunaye Bishamim wa Lusimbi kutoka Uganda. Yes. Huyu ni board member wa Africa HR. Sasa huyu ni bosi wetu kwa hapa. Sisi kama HR tunayo taasisi sasa ambayo ina organize Afrika nzima. Na yule ni board member, kwa hiyo amekuja ku oversee kwa sababu ya maandalizi ya tunakoelekea kwenye mkutano wa August. Lakini mwisho nilimwacha kwa sababu anashare kiti kama mimi. Mwenyekiti, kwa heshima na taadhima, Jocelyn, naomba usimame. Mpigieni makofi mwenyekiti. Huyu ni mwenyekiti wa HR pale Rwanda. Kwa hiyo na share naye kiti nilicho nacho mimi na yeye anacho. Sasa yule ni mwanamke, mimi ni mwanaume, na hapa mbele mimi nizungukwa na wanawake tu. Kwa mjue katika digital transformation isije ikakuta ikaongoza wanawake tu ndio wanatuongoza kwenye hizi digital era. Kwa hiyo Jocelyn, karibu sana, and convey our greetings to Rwanda. Asante sana. Ndugu mgeni rasmi, mimi nitamkaribisha katibu mkuu, lakini kabla sijamkaribisha pia nitumie kuchukua fursa hii kuwashukuru wote. Ili kwa muda nitakuja tena kuzungumza hapa. Niwashukuru washiriki wote kwa namna ambavyo tumeshirikiana kuhakikisha kwamba tukio letu linakwenda vile ambavyo tumetarajia. Lakini pili, nichukue nafasi hii kuwakaribisha kwenye mkutano sasa mkubwa wa kiprofessional wa HR ambao utafanywa Arusha mwezi wa 8. Mkutano huo si tu wa THRAPA, ni mkutano wa Africa HR. Tunauita Africa HR Summit ambao utafanyika August pale jijini Arusha. Na tunategemea Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan awe mgeni wetu rasmi, lakini katika wageni wangu maalum walioko hapa mbele hamtaacha kuwaona, watakuwa ni sehemu ya wageni wa mkutano huo. Kwa hiyo naomba tujiandae kwenye maofisi yetu, kama ziko nyaraka, taarifa ambazo mnapaswa kuzifikia, basi tuwasiliane ili tuweze kutimiza mkutano wetu ambao tunataka tuache historia ya Afrika lakini na dunia nzima kwenye HR katika tukio tutakayofanya kwenye nchi yetu ya Tanzania. Baada ya kusema hayo, Mheshimiwa Katibu Mkuu, nikukaribishe utupe kidogo salamu, lakini umkaribishe mgeni wetu rasmi aweze kuzungumza na hadhara hii. Karibu sana. Asanteni sana.
Can I be heard? Hello? Our dear honorable guest of honor, Honorable Ambassador Engineer Zena Said, my dear brother Christopher, Chairman of TRAPA, and I'd also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of all the distinguished participants and guests who are here today. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you here today at the close of this remarkable International Digital Workplace Summit here in Zanzibar. Over the past few days, I believe that you have all been engaged in meaningful discussions on digital transformation, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, data governance, cloud infrastructure, remote work ecosystems, and the future of public and private workplaces. What we have witnessed is not merely a conference, but it has been a convergence of vision, policy, technology, and innovation. As the Ministry of Communication, Information Technology, and Innovation, our mandate is very clear, and that is to position Zanzibar as a competitive digital economy aligned with Zanzibar Development Vision 2050 and our broader economic transformation agenda. For us, this summit has reaffirmed three important realities, and the first one is that the future of work is digital. Institutions that fail to modernize will struggle to compete, and as governments, we must lead by example in digitalizing services, automating processes, strengthening data protection frameworks, but also to enable secure and digital collaboration. Second, affirmation is that innovation is not optional, but it is foundational. From AI-driven service delivery to smart governance platforms and innovation for us to be able to create a very conducive environment for innovators to thrive. And thirdly, that digital transformation is about people. It is about building digital skills among the youth, empowering women in technology, but also upskilling the skills of civil servants and ensuring inclusivity and that no one is left behind. Zanzibar is committed to becoming a regional hub for digital innovation and smart workplaces. We are strengthening broadband infrastructure, we are advancing our digital ID systems, promoting cybersecurity readiness, and working toward interoperable government systems that increase efficiency and transparency. With those few remarks, before I finalize, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank TRAPA for having this conference here in Zanzibar, and I would like to thank all the participants and everybody who has contributed to making this conference a success. With those few remarks, it is now my distinct honor to invite our dear guest of honor, Karibu bosi wangu. Thank you so much for listening.
Sasa nitaongea kwa Kiswahili kwanza, afu kidogo nitaenda kwa Kiingereza. Katibu Mkuu Wizara ya Mawasiliano, Teknolojia ya Habari na Ubunifu, wizara mpya kabisa hiyo. Mwenyekiti wa TRAPA, wawakilishi kutoka nchi mbalimbali na taasisi mbalimbali. Nimeambiwa wapo wawakilishi kutoka Isuzu East Africa, kuna wawakilishi kutoka South Africa, Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, World Employment Confederation, lakini tunao wataalam katika fani za HR administration, IT na consultants mbalimbali. Nichukue fursa hii kwanza kumshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwa kutupa neema uhai na afya njema kwa siku 3 mmekuwa hapa kuhusiana na masuala haya ya International Digital Workplace Summit, ambapo mmezungumzia mada mbalimbali ambazo zimeshatambulishwa na mwenyekiti, lakini pia katibu mkuu amezisema. Kwa umuhimu wa mada zilizojadiliwa hapa, kwa kweli ingekuwa sio kubanwa na ratiba, nilitaka niwepo kwa siku zote, kwa sababu mimi kama mkuu wa public service kwa Zanzibar nafahamu umuhimu wa mambo yaliyojadiliwa hapa katika utumishi wa umma katika kusaidia kutoa huduma kwa ufanisi. Kwa hiyo tunapozungumzia digital workplace, lazima sisi kama Zanzibar tufanye pia tathmini na kujua tuko wapi, kwa kuangalia dunia ilipo. Maana zipo nchi ambazo kwa kweli zimeshakuwa very digital kama Estonia, naambiwa kule ni asilimia kama 99 mambo yao yanaenda tu kidijitali. Unatakiwa physically kuapia if you're going for marriage, divorce au kufanya transfer ya real estate, otherwise everything is done digitally. Lakini zipo nyingine ambazo ziko average, nyingine ziko very low. How are we positioned? Sisi tuko wapi? Tunatumiaje mifumo ya kidijitali katika kutoa service delivery, kuhakikisha kwamba inakwenda kwa haraka na kuwafikia wananchi? Tukifanya tathmini tutajua tulipo, na unapojua ulipo unajua una changamoto gani, lakini nini unaweza kufanya kwa haraka kama low hanging fruits, ili uweze kufanya mambo hayo na kupata impact kubwa kwa haraka. Tukifanya hayo, halafu tukajipanga kwenye mipango ya muda wakati na muda mrefu, then tutaweza kufanikiwa. Lakini tuangalie kwa sasa matumizi ya digitali kwenye maeneo muhimu. Ukiangalia kwa mfano kwenye elimu, tuna changamoto kubwa sana ya walimu. Tunawezaje kutumia digital solutions kupunguza gap iliyopo? Inawezekana kwa kutumia mifumo hii tukawa na walimu wachache, hasa kwenye masuala masomo haya ya sayansi. Tuna uhaba mkubwa sana, lakini kwa kutumia mifumo ya kidijitali tunaweza tukawezesha wanafunzi kwa mfano walioko Pemba kufundishwa na mwalimu ambaye yuko Unguja, na ikapunguza hata gharama kwa serikali kuajiri walimu wengi kama tutawatumia walimu waliopo na mifumo ya kidijitali katika kuhakikisha kwamba elimu yetu bado watoto wanaipata ipasavyo. Hali kadhalika kwenye masuala ya afya, telemedicine, wanaweza wakawepo ma specialist wachache, lakini vipimo vikapelekwa kwao na wakaweza kutoa diagnosis na dawa zikawa prescribed kwa wahusika. Wakapata prescriptions na wakapata dawa na wakaweza kupona. Changamoto ndogo hizi zinatusumbua. Kwa hiyo nilikuwa nasema tuna mfumo mzuri sana unaosaidia wananchi kupeleka malalamiko yao wanapokuwa na changamoto na taasisi za umma. Kabla ilikuwa mpaka mtu akalalamike kwenye ofisi husika. Sasa hivi anawasilisha lalamiko lake digitally. Hata akiwa na simu hii ya kawaida ambayo sio smartphone, bado anaweza akatumia na malalamiko yakafika, na yanakuwa monitored na a team at the State House kuona kwamba majibu yanapatikana. Before ingekuwa pia kwenda kufuatilia hiyo timu iende physically kuona kwamba mmejibu hii changamoto, mmefanyaje kazi, lakini they can see from the platform nani amejibu, nani hajajibu. Akichelewa wanamfuatilia kwa nini hujajibu. Kwa hiyo imesaidia katika service delivery, watu wamekuwa angalau matatizo ya watu yanakuwa solved kwa haraka kupitia mfumo huu. Kwa hiyo tunapofanya haya yote tunahitaji matumizi kama nilivyosema ya tools mbalimbali ikiwemo artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence tuliambiwa kwenye semina ya makatibu wakuu na IIT Madrasa Zanzibar, ile ambayo yenyewe kabisa wanaofanya kule ni very expensive na inatumia umeme na maji mengi sana. Sasa sisi tunaona ipo bure, pengine tunapata huko tunatumia, lakini kama wanavyosema hakuna free lunch. Wanapata nini wao? Kwa nini wanatupa bure? Kuna taarifa wanakusanya ambazo wanazitumia. Sasa hivi information ndio biashara. Kwa hiyo wanakusanya, pengine wanaenda kutengeneza products, wanakuja kutuuzia, kwa hiyo wanapata hiyo faida. Lakini wanaweza wakajua hata mawazo yetu kabla hatujayafanyia kazi, washafanyia kazi na kutengeneza product, na hamna jinsi unaweza ukatrace ukashtaki kwamba wameiba wazo lako. Kwa hiyo kuna haja na sisi kuona ni jinsi gani kama nchi au kama bara tuwe na AI ya kwetu, kuhakikisha kwamba zile siri zetu ambazo hatutaki zitoke basi zinabaki ndani ya nchi, lakini bado tunatumia tools za namna hiyo. Kwa hiyo wataalam, hiyo ni challenge kwenu kwenda kufanyia kazi. Tunafanyaje kuwa na customized artificial intelligence ambayo data zitabaki ndani bila kwenda kuwa misused na wengine wakapata faida kwenye mawazo ambayo na sisi yangeweza akatusaidia. Kwa hiyo swala la home grown solution ni muhimu. Tusiwe siku zote sisi ni walaji wabunifu za watu wengine. Wanapobuni vitu vyao hawana mpango wa kuacha hiyo bunifu ikae kwa muda mrefu. Kwa hiyo wakati you have purchased it, you're just learning about it, you are about to be good at it, tayari wameshabadilisha, wanakuambia hii haifai tena, tuna nyingine. Kwa hiyo you keep on buying and buying. Matokeo yake tunashindwa hata kuwa na integration kwa sababu mifumo tunayonunua kila siku inabadilika. Kwa hiyo homegrown solutions itatusaidia kwa kweli kuwa tunapata kutumia masuala haya ya kidijitali kutatua matatizo yetu ya ndani, lakini na kutoa huduma kwa haraka kwa wananchi wetu. Kwa hiyo kwenye elimu tulizungumzia masuala kutumia digital solutions, lakini pamoja na kwamba zina faida, kuna hasara zake, lazima na wenyewe tuwe makini. Kwa mfano, tafiti zinaonyesha mtoto akiwa exposed na too much screen time ina madhara kwake. Hata kujifunza kunakuwa shida. Hata nchi ambazo mwanzo zilitumia sana zikaenda so deep kwenye digital, kwenye education, wameanza kupunguza hayo kwa sababu wamekuta kumbe kuna madhara kama screen time inakuwa too much bila kuwa controlled. Kwa tunapoenda tuende kwa kuangalia lessons kutoka kwa wengine, walipata matatizo gani ili na sisi tusiende kwa matatizo hayo hayo. Kwa hiyo ni vizuri tukaenda kwenye hizo solutions with caution, lakini homegrown solutions itakuwa nzuri sana. As we come to the close of the International Digital Workplace Summit 2026, I invite you to take a moment to reflect not just on the sessions we have attended, the ideas we have exchanged, or the technologies we have explored, but on the connections we have made and the future we have begun to shape together. Over the past days, we have heard from visionary leaders, bold innovators, and passionate change makers. We have explored how digital workplaces are no longer just tools for productivity, but ecosystems for creativity, inclusivity, and resilience. We have seen how artificial intelligence, hybrid collaboration, and human-centered designs are redefining the way we work, lead, and live. But perhaps the most powerful takeaway is this: technology alone does not transform workplace. People do. And here, in this room, we have the people who will lead that transformation. The reflection to carry forward for the future of digital workplace is collaboration is our greatest currency. The breakthroughs we seek will not come from isolated efforts, but from partnership that cross industries, borders, and disciplines. Another thing as a takeaway is innovations must serve humanity. Every digital solutions we create should enhance human potential, not replace it. The future of work is not just about efficiency, it is about meaning, dignity, and opportunity. The future is built today. That is another takeaway. Conversation we have had here are not the end. They are the blueprint. What we do when we return to our organizations will determine whether these ideas become realities. In conclusion, when we leave here, take with you not just notes and business cards, but a renewed sense of responsibility. Share what you have learned, challenge the status quo, build workplaces where innovation thrives, diversity is celebrated, and every voice matters. Let us commit that when we meet again, whether at International Digital Workspace Summit 2027 or in the digital spaces we now share, we will not just talk about the future of work, we will show it. On behalf of the government, I thank you all, the speakers, sponsors, partners, facilitators, panelists, moderators, and every participant for making the International Digital Workspace 2026 a landmark gathering. Your energy, your ideas, and your vision have made this summit unforgettable. Let us live here not as attendees, but as architects of better, smarter, and more human future of work. With these few remarks, now I announce that the summit is officially closed. I wish you safe travel and see you in the future we are building together. Asanteni sana kwa kunisikiliza.
Please clap your hand. Tupige makofi tafadhali. Tupige makofi tafadhali. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Sis. It is pressure. Natumai tumepata kitu. Alianza Kiswahili, amemaliza Kizungu. Kwa hiyo it's gain meaningful. Yuko vizuri. Yuko vizuri. Na mimi pia na try, nikiwa mkubwa natamani niwe kama yeye. Mbona msemi amen? Okay, thank you so much. Kulingana na muda na ratiba yetu, leo ni Ijumaa. Hivyo nitaomba tuweze kuwa na muda mfupi, tutapiga picha pamoja, lakini pia tutakabidhi zawadi. Wale mlioandaliwa kwa ajili ya zawadi, ninaomba mjiandae kusogea hapa mbele. Mgeni akija aweze akaondoka hivi hivi. Project na timu yako naomba msogee hapa mbele tuweze kuendana na muda. Naomba mwenyekiti, katibu mkuu, samahani naomba nikusumbue kama utojali uweze kusimama hapa mbele. Katibu mkuu kiongozi, katibu mkuu naomba msindikize katibu mkuu kiongozi. Kiswahili tuna katibu mkuu kiongozi, alafu tuna katibu mkuu. Project naomba mkabidhi mwenyekiti. Sasa moja moja sio yote. Naomba mtu mwingine hapa mbele. Naam. Sasa tunapunguza ili asibebe mzigo mkubwa. Na vingine hawataki watu wavione. Karibu mgeni rasmi. Project. Sasa katibu mkuu kiongozi, naomba tumkabidhi katibu mkuu wa wizara kwa kazi aliyoifanya, ni njema. Lakini pia katibu mkuu kiongozi, naomba kama utojali, tulikuwa na wadau ambao waliweza kufanikisha shughuli hii. Naomba on behalf of World Employment Confederation, Jackie, come front please on behalf of World Employment Confederation. Akitoka Jackie, naomba Jocelyn jiandae. Karibu Jocelyn. After Jocelyn, Professor Shai, you will come after Jocelyn. Rwanda Human Resource Management Organization, SAPAM, Professor Shai, karibu. South African Public Administration and Management, Isuzu, Atara, Grace Nzura, Atara, Yusuf, naomba ujiandae. Isuzu, akitoka Isuzu utafuata Yusuf. Yusuf, karibu. After Yusuf, TANAPA, naomba tujiandae. After TANAPA, IPA, and ofisi ya Rais, Tumishi wa Umma na Utawala Bora. IPA, mwakilishi kutoka IPA. Mwakilishi kutoka Utumishi, pande zote, Bara na Zanzibar. Okay. Basi baada ya hapo, mgeni rasmi, baba, tunaomba tupate picha pamoja, na baada ya picha pamoja takuruhusu kuweza kwenda. Naomba tusipoteze muda, wote tuje tusimame. Picha. Sawa, sawa. Kamati ninawaomba. Kamati naomba tukimbie kidogo, aliyekuwa nje naomba ingie ndani. Wanakamati nawaomba ndani. Wanakamati wote aliyekuwa nje naomba ndani. Naomba tusimame nyuma. Naomba wadau, SAPAM, Isuzu, World Employment Confederation, wadau wote tuliopata zawadi naomba tuje tusimame. kwa ajili ya picha. Naomba tuharakishe kidogo. Partners, sponsors, panelists, speakers, we can wait. Only partners, karibuni. Karibuni. Partners, Isuzu, USCAF. Wakimaliza tunafuata speakers, panelists, moderator. Upige picha mkiwa tayari, naomba mniambie. Tayari. Naomba Professor Jocelyn Gracie. Naomba tuchangamke. Speakers, panelists, moderator. Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. Thank you so much, Grace. Okay. So you appear as many as possible. Iliyobaki, this one is tayari. Yoa Ali Project Mame kumsindikiza mgeni rasmi. Tunashukuru sana kwa ujio wako. Tunashukuru sana kwa uwepo wako. Joa, nakuomba. Okay, we may sit. We may sit. I need to provide some instruction. Kwa kuwa event yetu ishakuwa closed na mgeni rasmi, lakini karuhusu itifaki. This we call networking. Kwa hiyo muda huu, kipindi tukiwa tumeruhusiwa na itifaki, tunafanya networking. Even mwenyewe mgeni rasmi anafanya networking. We are supposed to know each other, lakini pia we are supposed to learn from each other. Ratiba ya sasa hivi baada ya hapa, wale wanaoenda masjid tunaweza tukaenda, lakini pia waliorudi tutapita kwenye desk la registration kwa ajili ya kuchukua coupon kwa ajili ya parcels za iftar kwa wale waliofunga, lakini pia wale ambao tunakazia utaratibu ni ule ule, tutapita kwenye desk la registration, watatupa mwongozo nini cha kufanya. Lakini tatu, wale ambao wamekamilisha taratibu zote za malipo na registration kwa ajili ya risiti, tutapita kwenye dawati. Naomba ni declare tuna changamoto ya mashine ya mtandao. Mashine zipo lakini kuna changamoto. Kwa hiyo tuna try our best, lakini tuko digital. Kwa hiyo tukishindwa on time hard copy, kuna soft copy. Sisi tunaelewana? We try our best. Tuna mashine mbili, ZRA, TRA, lakini kuna changamoto ambao we try our best kuweza kuiweka ikae solved clear, kwa sababu we know tunabidi tu comply na utaratibu wa financial regulation, tufanye return kwa ajili ya impress na mambo mengine. Kwa hiyo hilo tusiwe na shaka nalo. For the time being kuna ambao watakuwa sorted, lakini kuna ambao hawatakuwa sorted on time. Lakini wale ambao pia process zao za malipo bado hazijakamilika, natumai kila mtu alikuwa sorted, mambo mengine yatafuata. Nadhani tuko sawa. Kama kuna changamoto yoyote, dawati liko nje pale, backbencher pale, unaweza kuuliza chochote tukaweza kukuassist on time kulingana na mazingira yaliyokuwepo. On behalf of Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, on behalf of THRAPA, on behalf of WC, I would like to thank you everyone for your presence to be here. Thank you so much. You are most welcome. Asante sana.